This is the Unregistered podcast, and I'm Thaddeus Russell. This is a show about ideas, people, and behaviors that are considered inappropriate, out of bounds, or beyond the pale. The things you're not supposed to talk about if you're a school teacher, a college professor, a businessman, a politician, a parent, a neighbor, or even a podcast host. These are the things you're not supposed to say or even think if you're a good liberal, a good conservative, or a good citizen. Each week, I'll interview a person who has something bad to say. They might be a journalist or a professor. They might be a porn star or a drug dealer. They might just be an ordinary person with an ordinary job who doesn't care about the rules of polite society. I'm not interested in breaking the rules just to be a troublemaker. I'm interested in people who break the rules of conventional thought and to expand the scope of what is possible to say in our society. I'm interested in people who make me think. To make this show what it is, I have to talk to people in person, face to face, not on Skype or on the phone. That means I have to travel around the country and find recording spaces wherever I go. That's expensive. And so far, this show is entirely supported by the contributions of listeners. So if you want to keep it going, please do me a favor and go to unregisteredunderground.com. When you become a subscriber there, you'll have access to a private Facebook group where you can talk with me and with guests from the show. You'll also get discounts on Unregistered and Renegade University merchandise. So again, to support this show and to keep it going, please go to unregisteredunderground.com. I do a lot less talking in this episode than I normally do, and I think you'll see why. I knew the guest would be funny and interesting and that I would like him, but I was totally unprepared for what he told me. Petey DeAbreu is an up-and-coming comedian who's getting a lot of attention in the New York comedy scene, but I think he's about to get an even bigger audience with the story you're about to hear. So a few months ago, I was asked to do this show with comedians about mass incarceration, which right away made me pissed off because it's just not funny. And I was raring to go at that time to make all these arguments about what really was causing mass incarceration, because I really cared about it because, I really care, even though I've never been incarcerated or even arrested. So I walk into that venue and I'm just pissed off already, and I'm ready to go to town, to go to war actually with a person who I was debating. But there are all these goddamn comedians there too. It was a comedy show, which was just weird to me. And one of them was a former prosecutor from the Bronx, which set me on edge. And he ended up during the show calling me smug to the whole crowd, and not only that, but going on about it. And I thought I was about to throw hands with this guy on stage, the professor. And but there's this other comedian whose set at the beginning of the show I actually liked, and who was actually from the Bronx, and who was actually the kind of person that the DA used to put away. And then during the show, I'm having this just bloody debate with Heather McDonald, and I'm really tense, and I'm really throwing down, doing my thing. And I just felt this dude, Petey DeAbreu, just looking at me. And then I looked over, he was looking at me in this way that I didn't mind at all. I just was curious about what it was. And then at one point he starts to talk about his own life, and he seemed to have regret about his life. And he said, man, I could have been like you. He was pointing at me and he said, you even have my socks. See, look at those socks. We have the same socks. And I looked down and I noticed that my socks were blue and they didn't match my outfit. So thanks, Petey, for that. And, but I was curious. So curious about why he would want to be like me, because he didn't know this at the time. I don't think he knows it now, but in a way, I always wanted to be him. Black comedian. That's what I've always wanted to be. So I'm thinking, why would you want to be me? Uptight, stressed out professor with bad socks. So that's the only reason you're here, man. And I need you to tell me this. Why would you want to be, or was that right? You did say that. I'm sure sounded like there was a part of you that wanted to be me. Why would you want to be me?
First of all, what's up?
Just answer the question.
I think I said I could have been you.
Yeah, no, I know.
I said I could have been you.
But you seem like you had some regret, though.
But no, I definitely.
About your life.
Definitely. You know what? I think I have regret but I don't at the same. It's like I have a regret where it's like, man, I wish I didn't do certain things, or I wish I didn't. You know, it's like I wish I didn't have to do certain things. It's not even that I wish I didn't do certain things. That's the thing. I wish I didn't have to, or at least I wish I didn't feel like I had to do certain things, as opposed to just living a normal life, where it's like, you know, the American dream kind of life.
You had to do all the things that you regretted?
I felt like I had to.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing that I've never done anything. I think just to. Unless like when I was a kid, when I did stupid stuff, like you might throw a cinder block off a roof or some shit.
Oh, that was you? Yeah. When I moved to New York in the 1980s, actually, the first time I lived here, I remember the first day we got here, you know, everybody was terrified when they got to New York in the 1980s. And the New York Post had this headline on that day about somebody filling a shopping cart with cement and throwing it off the roof of some high rise and it killed somebody. And I'm like, yeah, see, fuck this town. It's lethal already.
And then Bernie Getz came along and kind of evened the odds a little bit.
Yeah. Kind of.
Remember that?
Oh, sure. I was here. Yeah.
Wasn't it like a sigh of relief? Even though it was crazy, it was like, man, somebody stood up for like the common fucking man.
Well, no. So like, not in my world, you know, the liberal college educated types. No, he was the devil. You know, he was the guy we didn't want to be associated with. Our whole thing was like, no, we're not Bernie Getz. We're not like him. We're not the racist. We love black people. Don't blame us for that shit. No, he was bad for my people. But like the New Yorkers who actually lived here, yeah. In fact, a whole bunch of black and Latino people loved him too, right?
Do you know the ratio, like the percentage of people that got, you knew the percentage of people that got mugged.
Oh my God.
Every day on the subway. It was somewhere upwards to like 80% or something ridiculous like that.
I was terrified, and you had to be terrified. I used to have to take the subway in the middle of the night every night because I was working a night shift. I worked at the Staten Island Advance newspaper, and I lived on the Upper East Side, actually right near East Harlem. And I had to take the subway from the tip of Manhattan all the way almost to the top every single night at midnight when I was 19 years old, little white boy from California. And you had to there was the emergency section of the subway marked off. I don't even know if they still have that, where you could be observed by the person in the booth, and you knew a cop would be there too. So you'd like huddle in that little part of the subway platform to be safe, and you would wait for the cops. Like I wanted cops to be around then. Totally different time. So yeah, no, I completely got it at the same time that like actual New Yorkers, regardless of color, kind of liked what Bernie did.
Because it was like a thing of like, and then it's like that thing of like, you don't know who's got a gun. He set that off. He set that off like you don't want to fuck with everybody because somebody might look unassuming and they fucking got a 38 special ready to give you 6 of those.
So wait, you were around then?
No,
you're not that old.
I'm 34.
You're not even close. Yeah.
But I still know about it if it's like New York history.
Yeah. So like in your neighborhood, which is where?
Oh, right.
Where you grew up? Yeah.
I grew up like White Plains Road, 217.
Which is
Northeast Bronx.
For the civilians out there?
Yeah.
Where's that? In the Bronx, right?
Northeast Bronx.
Northeast Bronx.
On the 2 train. If you fall asleep on the 2 train, then you go 219.
That was the other big fear we had, you know, missing that stop on, what was it? The A train. It was like, in fact, we did it once. It was like the A train would stop at 42nd Street. And then the next stop was what, 145th or something like that?
Yeah.
That was like every white person's worst nightmare was to miss that stop. And when they got to Times Square and then, oh shit, now we're in fucking Dominican, wherever that is. But, so what was the word about Bernie Getz when you were growing up in your hood? Like, what did people say about him or think about him?
Well, it was just, I think it was more the older, because the younger people were like, fuck that guy.
Oh, really?
But it was, I think even like, I'm coming from a place, not even like, I wasn't in the streets. I wasn't doing shit back then when that happened.
Mm-hmm. But like older people?
As a somewhat of a New York historian, it's like those are fascinating stories to me in hindsight, where I'm like, oh wow, that's like that was that thing. Like he paved the way for acting like you had a gun. Even he paved the way for the guy that put his hand in his jacket and acted like, yo, don't step back. I don't want to shoot you.
Bernie Getz is the OG. Yeah, he's the OG. Don't confuse it.
I'm serious to some
all right. I
extent.
Didn't.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. I look at it like, oh wow, this guy was like a fucking, you know.
That's funny. All right, let's talk about your regrets. So you did mention in that show that you dealt drugs a little bit when you were really young, right?
Yeah.
But let's back up. So mom, what was she doing when you were born?
When I was born, I think she was just like working at a retail store or something like that. And then like as I was growing up, she worked at She worked for New York Hospital. She was always like a receptionist, secretary.
And was she from here?
Yeah, she's from Brooklyn.
And what about your dad?
He's from Guyana in South America.
Is that where the DeAbreu comes from?
Yeah.
Which is Portuguese, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you know the other thing about DeAbreu, the name, the surname? It's mostly, or it's most common among Sephardic Jews from Portugal.
Nah. You telling me I'm Jewish?
You could have a little Jew in you, Petey.
Oh man, I gotta cash that in.
Yeah.
I got some bar mitzvah money to cash.
You're in the right neighborhood. We're in the Lower East Side. You just go down. There's a booth over there. It's like the Jew booth. You just walk up and you're like, "Yo, I got my card. Here we go. Give me my money.
Oh man,
give me my money in my bank, and then I'm gonna rule the.
Let me get a mezuzah so
earth.
people know there's somebody Jewish in here.
Exactly. I looked you up and I was like, what is that name? And then I actually did a little research on you, and that's what I found out, that you're Jewish. So you can now tell the world. It's good.
Sephardic.
Just my little service for you.
Boy, Sephardic out here.
Sephardic, the brown-skinned Jews. So, and was he around?
You want to hear a story? This is what happened.
That's why we're here.
When I was a kid, I was probably like around 6, 7. And then, so my mom, and I have three sisters, but 2 of them live with me. And then my grandparents lived down the block from my mom's place. So, you know, they would have like little get-togethers at my grandmother's place. They had a little backyard. Everybody would hang out. So one day there was like a party, and you know, it's like the adults, they're drinking booze, kids running around doing whatever they do. And then I saw my dad outside, and he was like, kind of like hugging a woman, kind of like in a inappropriate kind of way, or maybe it was appropriate, but it's like, you know, you get that like, why is she like in between his legs and they're hugging, kind of like, not like, you know, not like that, but like it was just like a kind of like, and I'll never forget, as a kid, I was just I was always observant, so I observed that, and I was just like, Then I go back down the block to you know, my house, my mom and everything, and I go, hey, Mom. Because he introduced me to the woman. And I go, hey, Mom, do you know who Pam is? And then, you know, she's a black woman, too. It's like, huh? Who? What? And I was like, oh, that. And so my mom went snooping around, like investigating. And then with all my dad's sisters or whatever. And then she found out, one of my aunts told her, like, what the backstory was and who this woman was and all this stuff. And then my mom took me and my sisters one night, like this is like 10 at night or something like that, and I'm 7, over to my grandmother's house, where, you know, my aunt snitched on them and was like, yo, they're gonna be at apartment 5B over there. And then she loaded the car up, me and my sisters, drove us over there, knocked on the door, somebody peeped out. And then my mom just pushed it. You know, someone just like cracks the door a little. My mom just pushed the door in. My pops was on the couch, arm around this woman, and then it was this big ordeal. Mom's just cursing everybody out in the family, my grandparents, the aunts, the little kids, and everybody. Like, you know, this has been going on behind my back. And I'm just like, oh man, she's fucking up all the future Thanksgiving dinners. That's all I can think about. And I was just like, fuck, I'm like crying and shit. And then you would think it wouldn't get worse. And then after we leave, like as we're leaving, my mom says, you know what, furthermore, and she peels down like one side of her pants.
Oh shit.
And her butt cheek is out, and she's like, you can kiss my ass. And then, I never forgot. That shit stuck in my head for so fucking long. And then like after that, a couple of days, my mom changed the locks on the door at our place, and then put all my dad's shit outside. And I'll never forget the day he came back to try to get in. And I was just sitting there, and my mom's like, don't open the door. You could like hear him outside. And I think that shit fucked me up somehow in life. And because I always had the feeling of like, if I never said anything, none of this would have happened. Yeah. If I wasn't like, hey, Mom, who's Pam? You know what I mean? If I wasn't,
I was about to make a joke about how you were a snitch when you were 7.
I was a snitch. I didn't know. I was like, I didn't know.
Oh man.
So that was the only time I ever snitched.
Because you know, the theory about all of us kids of divorce is that, you know, we all feel guilty because we all feel responsible for it, and that's what like haunts us for the rest of our lives, right?
But then I found out they was never even married, so I said, now I'm devastated twice.
Yeah, still, you know. Yeah, but you got the double whammy there because you kind of, in some ways, you weren't really responsible. But I guess it may not have happened.
It wouldn't have, or it may have happened.
It would have happened.
It wouldn't have been out. My conscience would have been clear,
Right.
at least, if it didn't happen that way.
That guilt wouldn't have been tripled or whatever it was.
Yeah. And then after that, I would like see my dad now and again, here and there.
Do you think it fucked you up? Can you think of a way that it
a little? Because I mean, he wasn't there around. Like,
I mean, like, can you think of the way you have been and how you have thought and how you have felt since you were 7 that might be because of that?
I don't think so.
Do you feel like you are a bad person when you're not really?
Nah.
I do all the time. It's amazing.
As far as like
just like generally
stemming back to
just walk. No, I'm just saying, just walking around. I just sort of always have this like default that I'm a bad person. I did something bad, and I check myself. I'm like, wait, I didn't actually do anything bad today, or even recently. Why do I feel this way? And I don't know if it's because of my parents' divorce. They got divorced when I was 5, but I always assume that's why. You don't have that?
No, I usually it's the opposite. But then again,
what do you mean?
I feel like for me, or maybe I do, but I'm so good, I think, at fighting it, like fighting that thought and like fighting for happiness and fighting for, like I was telling someone last night, it's almost like in Rocky, or it's almost like with Mike Tyson. Let's go to Mike Tyson. I love boxing.
Me too.
Or at least I loved it. I don't really love it now, like how I did when I was growing up, and just like certain stories. And Mike Tyson and Cus D'Amato, like he programmed him to be
a killer,
but he also programmed his like the killer mindset, where it's like, I got the desire to do something. Like he didn't even know what desire meant when he met Cus, and Cus just programmed him to. Have
you seen that movie? You seen that movie about Mike Tyson, the documentary about Cus D'Amato and Tyson?
Which one?
I forget the name of it. The director is Barbara Koppel. I think it's just called Mike Tyson or something.
Was it the old one that came out on HBO? Like,
probably.
And like I think Jai White or some shit.
It's like a 2-hour straight documentary, just shows his life. The most amazing, you're talking about how he was trained to be a killer and have that killer mindset. But actually, to me, the main moment in that movie is when Tyson is just like destroying people, like hitting them so hard they're literally leaving their feet.
Right.
Like, remember that? Like 200-pound men, just like they're leaving their feet, they're flying literally. And he's just wiping out every boxer in New York State at that time. But he was like 18 or 19 years old, and he's about to go into the ring for a fight, and he was definitely going to destroy this kid he was fighting. There's no doubt about that. He wasn't scared at all about the opponent. He just, remember this? He breaks down.
Oh,
starts crying.
Was this when I think it's like the Olympic trials or something?
Maybe.
Like Olympics, because he was not old enough to.
No, I don't know.
He wasn't pro yet, but I remember he had on the like the blue and yellow kind of thing.
Yeah,
and then
maybe.
Mick Rooney goes out. Is that his name?
I thought it was Cus D'Amato. I think he had just Tyson put his head, I think, in Cus D'Amato's chest, and like he just gets hugged by. He's just sobbing like a baby.
It was his trainer. It wasn't Cus. It was the other dude.
Oh, yeah.
It was the other dude. But I know exactly when he's like, yo, he's crying and shit.
Really crying.
Like, and he's like, yo, it's all right, man. You're going to be all right. Dude, that's how I fucking feel. So it's like, I got to be the guy consoling myself.
Okay.
To where I know the world don't give a fuck about me, but the only way that I could win is to have some sort of confidence that I can be happy, or confidence that I can and will succeed. And that's like, yeah, we all fucking have our insecurities, and I think our depressions and our things, but I think how we deal with them, and I think comedy helps me a lot with that, because it helps me look inside, where most people are scared to look within because the shit is painful. You know what I mean? As opposed to looking in and asking the questions. Therapists probably should ask you, like, why do you think that happened? Or how do you think it affected you? Or what do you think? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most people don't want to do that. That's why they go see other people.
Yeah, you also have this advantage/disadvantage from birth, probably, of being observant, as you said. Like, you noticed your dad in the particular way he was hugging that woman, which I'm sure he thought was,
nothing.
Right. I'm sure he thought he was getting away with it.
He's like, I'm not kissing her.
And I'm sure it was really subtle, whatever it was. But you, as a 7-year-old, noticed that this was not quite on the up and up, right? But that's like all comedians talk about, having that ability. And like novelists do, and filmmakers and people like that, creative people generally. But those, I wouldn't say creative people generally. I would say those whose art is about other human beings, right? It's about observing.
Is that what they say, the human condition?
Yeah. But just like it's always little tiny shit like that, right? And I've kind of, I think, been that way too. That's why I never was a comic. I'm not even saying I'm funny enough, but like I always wanted to be, and most importantly, I think I've always identified with comics, and which, doesn't serve you very well when you want to be a professor. So, because they say things we're not allowed to say.
Why not? Was that why you have the Renegade University? Because you can say whatever the hell you want to say.
That's a big part of it.
It's also because guidelines.
It's also because they wouldn't let me teach there anymore in the real schools, because I do say things that you're not supposed to say that people like you can say. Yeah, no, that's a big part of it. I always felt uncomfortable in those schools, those classrooms. I was really good at it in there. I could do all that shit. I mean, once they let me in at Columbia, and it took a long struggle to get there, but once they let me in, then I was great, in terms of the actual work, but I hated it. I wouldn't say I hated the people, but I just didn't feel any like kinship with them at all.
That's kind of like the night that I did that show that I mentioned.
I know.
Because it's like, you see, I don't forget the lady's name, the person you were debating
Heather McDonald.
Heather McDonald. She's like sitting in the front. I don't know who she is, but she just got this look, and I'm like trying to make her laugh. I'm trying to make everybody laugh. And I'm just like, this ain't much. Like, I like people that, I like everybody, first of all. That's the other thing. I'm because I think I'm just interested in people. I like to learn things, you know, and I know the only way that I can learn other things that I may not learn is talking to people and asking questions and being, if we're different from, at least on paper, I know that, there's something down the line we're gonna agree on. There's something. Yeah. Whether it be your past or even just now, you're like, my divorce, and how'd you feel? It's like, oh wow, there's the connection.
Yeah. Although with Heather McDonald, I'm not sure it's true with you, but you would find something to agree with. Maybe. Actually, no, I take it back. You did. In fact, you said, I was always guilty when I got arrested.
Then she was like, whatever. I'm like, dude, who are you? I go, who are you? What are you talking about? People getting hit over the head, like for their checks? That was like back in the day. Now we're not doing that.
Her whole thing is, the cops are basically doing the right thing. And the problem is the criminals. We just got to deal with the criminals harder now, and so I'm up there, giving the whole argument, trying to save the criminals, trying to help the criminals and fuck the cops. And then her whole thing is, no, the cops are good. We just got to help them. And then here comes the actual guy who's actually lived in that neighborhood and actually was thrown on the hoods of police cars and actually was arrested and actually did go to jail and was a drug dealer. He's like sitting there saying, oh yeah, no, I was always guilty and that shit was bad. I feel bad about it.
It was dude, it's just, but I always try to say, like, I'm not looking from the outside in. I'm on the inside looking around, telling you what's going on inside. And as somebody that was involved in certain things, I don't know how it is to come from the perspective of somebody from the hood that's innocent and has a clean slate and is guilty of nothing. I don't know that perspective. I know, like, I've done some shit. I got scruples now. Fortunately, I was able to be alive and not in jail right now. Although, I'm still, it's a thin line between freedom and jail for me. I'm on probation right now.
Yeah, let's hold off on that. We'll get to that. Don't worry. Don't you worry. We'll get to that story.
But no, yeah. So it's like, I don't know.
So yeah, so the neighborhood, what was it like?
For me growing up,
who lived there?
It was a lot of Jamaicans, a lot
Jamaicans.
Of Puerto Ricans in that section of the Bronx. A lot of they used to call it Little Jamaica.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I thought Jamaicans were all in Brooklyn.
No, they were like, it was that part of the Bronx. They were all over, but it's like,
actually, I take it back. No, yeah. Well, the South Bronx, there were Jamaicans. I didn't know about North Bronx.
Yeah,
Jamaicans.
there was a lot of Jamaicans up there, and then also in Brooklyn.
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah.
But it's like anything. Like when the nationalities move here, they, especially like if you're doing illegal business, they migrate to different parts to run their illegal businesses. I'm pretty sure they kill a lot of people to take over the territories. But it's like, I remember I grew up on 217th and White Plains Road. And when you walk to the bus stop on Gun Hill and White Plains Road, you had to walk past 214th and White Plains Road, 213th and Barnes. And I would walk across the street, like all the way across like a 4 or 5 lane, street, just to not have to walk past 214th, because it's like a lot of crack going on, a lot of people getting shot, a lot of, just unruly things. Even as a kid, like as a kid, you feel like maybe I'm safe because I'm a kid. But then you're like, I don't even want to, you see this guys with faces and scars and shit going on where you're like, you don't even want to look at these people because it's scary.
Yeah, I remember that was another thing when I moved here. There was all this fear about the Jamaican gangs being the worst.
shower posse.
Like the most sadistic, like they would cut people with razors until, just cut little pieces of flesh off them until they bled to death. I'm not sure if that was true, but I'm sure there was a lot of really bad people up in there. But
that was there. And then it was, and then I grew up too, most of my family, my grandparents, my closest aunts, where we would spend our summer, we would be Webster Projects, 170th and Webster, and then we'd be on Washington Avenue in I forget the name of the houses, but in those projects, and that was too, I would go from White Plains Road and feel like that was rough, and then go over there and it's a gazillion times rougher, and you're just whoa, but we're surviving, it's
Did you live in the projects?
No, maybe for a summer too. I always grew up in a 3-family house,
right?
A lot of roaches,
right?
Regular shit,
and
I felt like I had it good, but then the other thing would be how come we got more roaches than in the projects? I never understood that. I'd be but they live in the projects with way more people, but we got roaches crawling in our ears. What the hell's going on?
Yeah. Would you trade though?
Nah.
Did you ever envy the people in the projects?
Sometimes.
There's kind of a community, right?
You know why I envied them too? And it was for stupid things. I envied them because their heat always worked. I envied them because their hot water always worked. I envied them because that's a building thing where the heat's going to work in the entire building where it's not going to work. In the 3-family house that's underkept by the landlord that doesn't really care about the people living there. It's you're basically living in a shithole with 3-4 people. And then my mom, I grew up poor. I grew up, getting by, but barely getting by, where it's there's 3 kids, not a lot of planning into making those kids. So now everything is a scramble while you have 3 kids. You know what I mean? So it's you got to understand, you got to understand eggs for dinner. You got to understand nothing for dinner. You got to understand, and not even understand it, but it just becomes your regular life.
And after you were 7, she did it by herself.
Yeah. And she was one of those strong women, those strong Black women that's I don't need no help. I don't want just give me some child support or whatever it was. But that was not even enough.
Yeah. So what do you think of the reputation of Black women as being angry? Which,
I feel like
they get pissed off about.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's I think there is definitely, I'm not going to this is one of the things I say too. I don't really know Black and white as much as I know Black and Puerto Rican, because I never grew up in a Black and white world.
I assumed you were Puerto Rican.
Yeah, most people do, or Dominican.
And then you said, right, and then you said you were Black during your set. In fact, I was like, that's interesting. And also, your name was Portuguese, so who knows what to do with you?
Right, but mixed up. But what was the question again about if Black
women? Yeah, so the reputation, right? And then they get really mad. Well, some Black women get mad about that.
I'll be honest with you. It's the same. They say angry Black woman. They say angry Black man. It's the people say, "Oh, you're an angry Black man," or "You're an angry Black woman," and it's that thing of you're either gonna be dancing, you're either gonna have a perspective, or you're either angry. And usually, angry and perspective fall under the same angry umbrella.
Yeah. So it's just that Black men don't quite have that reputation,
but I think that's
much as Black women.
But that also goes to show the difference. I think not even between Black or white, but men and women, where it's women. Your boy's becoming a feminist too. I didn't know if you knew that, Thaddeus. Your boy's learning.
Who, you?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't. That wasn't because of me.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just because I've been kind of thinking more about women lately.
Yeah.
And just wow, the way that we are as men, we go through life and they go through life, where it's I couldn't imagine coming to this podcast today, but bleeding this morning. And then still coming, seeing ounces of blood come out of my penis and then be yeah, Dad, I'll be there at 2 or whatever time. Yeah. And because if I brought it up, or if I was oh man, I'm fucking bleeding, you'd be what the fuck? What does that have to do? You're either going to come in or not.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of where I was going with this. It's when I hear about the reputation of Black women, and when I experience a lot of Black women, in public who seem pretty angry to me, I think what feminists should be saying instead of, no, they're not angry, is, women, but especially Black women in New York City, especially Black women who are single mothers with 3 children who live in a house full of roaches, have a lot of reasons to be really angry. I don't blame them at all.
Well, so I think it's a lot of the defensive-ness, where it's this shield, it's this guard, it's this then they don't want to be hurt. So it's like they're always like on the defense, like, all right. And then you got the ones that are engulfed in Christianity and religion.
Right.
And that's how I feel like my mom dealt with a lot of it, where it's like, you hear those Negro spirits, just like slavery is almost, but like in modern day time, where it's like, take your trouble to the, and you got a congregation of people that are pretty much all, no one's doing that good. So it's like, it's a coping mechanism to some extent. It's
Sure.
like, in hindsight, that's why I saw it.
Yeah, even though I've never been in a church,
You should
really.
come, man. Especially
No, I mean, I
Bronx.
have been in a church. In fact, I've been in black churches before, and they're like some of the best places I've ever been. And I mean, you know, people who visit, you know, they're always amazed, right? Like
Right.
white people who've never seen that before.
Man, these hymnals sound so different.
You know, they have like tours of black churches,
I didn't
right?
know
Like, oh yeah, Abyssinian. I mean, lots of black churches.
Oh, well, those are like
the big ones.
Big,
Yeah.
historic, been around for 100 years.
No, it's been a thing for like white tourists for quite a while, but I get it. I was in a black church of all places. Like I think it was in Ohio. It was in Ohio. I'm trying to think. I think it was like Dayton or Cincinnati, and first time, and it was like amazing because they had fun and they enjoyed it.
Right.
There was like dancing and singing, and
I go to church
catharsis,
sometimes
yelling.
because my mom, like, she's simple, so like, and not in a negative way, but she's simple. Like, whereas it's her birthday or something, she's like, "Hey, just come to church with me, please."
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go out of respect, you know. And like, she goes to the same church I grew up in.
Which one? Which one?
Excuse me, Burke Avenue Baptist Church.
Baptist.
So my mom, so like when I go to the church, I still know the reverend. Like I know this guy, the pastor's been there since I was a little kid, to where it's like I'm watching him, and he's one of the funniest guys I've ever seen in my life. Like, I mean, he's telling you about the Bible, but he still finds a way to make it, to drop a joke, to bring everybody, like, you know, you get worked up and then he'll bring you down real quick with a joke and you're like, oh, wow. And then he keeps going. And
was he an inspiration for you
I don't think so.
to be a comic?
I don't think no. But like in hindsight, going back to the church, I see it with like, and like he knows I'm a comedian. Actually, his wife and a couple of family friends and church members came to see me in DC a few weeks ago. Where it's like, this is the pastor's wife, and then I'm like, man, I was kind of like a little timid because like, even my mom, she texted me, she goes, don't say nothing too crazy now. Remember, it's whatever. Don't make me look bad. I'm like, I got you. And then I read that on stage, and then one of the women there was like, we watch cable. We've heard worse.
Of course.
But yeah, I don't know.
So your mom was Black American. Your dad was Black Caribbean.
Yeah, Black Caribbean, Black. But I guess my mom's kind of Black Caribbean too, because her family's from the Virgin Islands.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
so she's Caribbean too, which is a different vibe there, right?
Super different. Like I feel like that was more in tune with the South Carolina, like slave, like this. It's a different slavery wave.
Oh yeah.
Like I could look at my family, like my mom's side of the family. Like when you look at old pictures, you're like, oh yeah, they were picking cotton last week.
So she had some family from South Carolina and some from the Virgin Islands?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Yeah. So you got the whole mix there. But yeah, there's a real difference, right? And like, if you've like ever hung out with Jamaicans, I know this at least, like a lot of them are pretty not fond of Black Americans, like, right? You've seen that, right?
Well, I get, yeah. Yankee boy.
They look down on them because they're the immigrants.
But it's not that they look down on them. I think there's just that. And I think it's kind of like dwindled over the years. It's not as bad. But like back then, it was like that thing. Imagine if you go to a new country and this guy's like acting like, yeah, you're an American, and yeah, you don't talk like me, and yeah, but like I'm Black just like you. And then that's why they bond. That's why they bond so much, and they form those tight communities where it's like it's us against the regular guys.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too. Like not growing up Black and white, you see the differences, whether it be dark skinned and light skinned, or Jamaican and American, or Puerto Rican and Black, or like you see all of these little sub beefs or something like it's like sub tensions that are like, it doesn't really, because everybody's looking at everybody in there like a piece of shit.
I know.
But we're looking at each other like we're better than each other.
I know. I used to play basketball when I was a graduate student at Columbia with a bunch of kids from Harlem. And like, they would tell me they were afraid to go home because of the Jamaicans who were waiting for them. You know, and that was the first time I learned about that. I didn't know there was such a beef. But then I moved to Brooklyn and was around like Trinidadians and Bahamians. And they were just like, they looked down on Black people, but not like, you know,
They look down on them like this, like
they're lazy.
Lazy.
Yes.
They look at them like, yo, you're nasty. They look at them like, yo, you're not even hygiene. Like you don't have good hygiene.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they look at. That's how it is. Like even for like growing up with my Guyanese family, they have that. It's not even. It's like because they were run by the Brits. You know what I mean? So they have that properness too. Whether even though they're West Indian, they have that properness to them, where it's like, we're gonna have it's tea time. We're drinking tea now, or we're it's just different. We're not. They look at almost like the Black Americans, as in they're almost like they look at them like savages almost.
I know. Yeah, the British thing is important. Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that, or I did, but I forgot it until you said it. But the other thing is that they're immigrants, and so they come here to make money. They have to make money, and they're hustling. And Jamaicans famously have 3 or 4 or 5 jobs and all that stuff. But so I get it. But I was going to say the church. I was raised an atheist. In Berkeley, so no one went to church.
Oh, you were killing it. Frisco?
Yeah. In the 1960s and 70s, when it was really wild and hippies, the whole thing.
Peace movement.
Yeah. And so I was never around anybody who went to church. Well, I take that back. There were kids in my neighborhood, one of my neighborhoods who were, but I'll get to that later. But here it is. It's actually about race. Like the white people in my world had nothing to do with church. They were all atheists, and my father was a hardcore atheist. And so, I have no identification with it whatsoever and kind of don't like a lot of it. But the first time I was in a church, I can't remember where it was or what it was. I don't remember if it was white or black or whatever, but I got why people were into it because it was a community. It was quiet. It's a refuge. And there's people there, And now that I'm older, like what I really value more than anything is community, friendship, because I never really, I've had it off and on. But at the times when I haven't had it, especially since I moved to LA where there are no communities, it's like you're just on an island all by yourself in LA. Most people are. Like I really want that now. And so I really get why your mom would want to go to that church,
for over like 20 years.
Oh my God. Yeah. Because she knows everybody. Everybody knows her, and it's safe and it's quiet and it's peaceful. And and you don't have to take care of 3 kids and worry about your husband who's fucking around on you and all the rest of it, right?
But then you also see, like for me, like I feel like I got smarter, or I was able to make sense of a lot of the observations that I've like made throughout life, but later, which is like I didn't realize it until like later, where I'm maybe going through something and then it's just me, and then I'm like I start thinking back, and then I'm just like especially like on my quest to be something in the world. It was like that thing of the realization of, oh wow, this is what this meant, or this is what was going on, or like even little things like you realize the unsuccessful and successful people are pretty much the same as far as they're not the same as far as successful. I mean, like all the people that are unsuccessful are usually the same, and all the people. And I mean the same as far as your thoughts go, and just what your beliefs go, and just certain things like that. Where it's like for me growing up, I always tell people I was taught to lose. I was taught how to accept failure, as opposed to, when you hit a wall with something that you're passionate about, you're not supposed to hear, well, maybe the Lord didn't want that for you. Or maybe, no, you're supposed to hear, well, if you really want to do it, you're going to keep going back as many times as it takes for you to succeed.
You were taught to accept failure?
Yeah, absolutely.
By who? Everybody. How?
Like I said, I remember I tried doing comedy when I was maybe like 9. That was the one thing too. My mom would always kind of push us. Like anything we liked, she would try to push us towards.
So not your mom. She didn't teach you to accept failure, sounds like.
Yeah, she did.
Oh, but she was wanting you to do things? She
wants you to try something.
Oh, but she didn't have any.
Once it didn't work, it was like, well, I guess that wasn't for you.
I see. Okay.
Like I remember when I was like 9, I think it was like a kids comedy contest. I don't remember which club it was at, but I'm hoping one day I'll get famous and then that video will pop up somewhere. So I'm 9 years old doing this little skit at this comedy club, and I lost. And like to that point, it was like I was just fascinated with comedy. I just loved it. I loved since I was a little kid. I have a report from school where I wrote my a autobiography about myself, And I wrote like, I'm going to be a comedian. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be this big. I'm going to do all this stuff. So anyway, I lost that competition. And after that, it was just like, and I remember it was almost like imagine if you had a kid. I don't know if you have any kids, but imagine you had a kid and the kid wanted to do something and then it didn't pan out. And then you just kind of ignored it. Like, hey, anybody want ice cream? And then you never brought it up again. And that was just it. It was never like, so you want to go back and try it again? It was just like, well, you failed. Let's move on.
But she knew you still wanted to be a comic after that?
I think I was just funny. I was a funny guy. Right. I was always a funny guy. So I don't think there wasn't that push there for me.
Yeah. I was going to say, you do have the one thing that successful people all have and they need it. And that's the first thing they have, which is ambition. Right. It sounds like you were always ambitious. You were talking about that you had this concept of like bettering yourself. I forget how you put it, but like you wanted something much bigger and better in life, right? From when you were a little kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
I didn't know what it was.
That's not everybody. That's most people are not like that, right? I mean, that's a rare thing.
I think everybody wants something.
You'd be surprised. I think a lot of people don't dream. They don't dream. I know. I've known a lot of people who don't dream. I mean, they might want a Starbucks near them or something like that, or an easier life, right? Something like that. But wanting like a completely different life, a much, much bigger, much better life, radically different. That's kind of what you wanted, right?
Oh, yeah. But then I'm not going to lie, because that came later too. Because as a kid, it was just like the reason that I was doing dumb shit, the reason why I'm stealing from Rite Aid, the reason why I'm robbing kids for their chains, the reason why I'm selling fake crack, the reason why I'm selling weed, the reason why I'm doing all these things is because I don't have no hope that things are going to get better. So in the long run, so I'm taking care of the short run where it's like, let me make a few dollars right now. I could buy some weed. I could buy some Chinese food. I can hang out, I'm not even doing nothing crack. I can buy drinks.
So wait.
But I wasn't planning for the future.
So you were stealing from Rite Aid. What was all that? There was some funny stuff.
I remember
in there.
I used to steal from Rite Aid for like a whole year. I was like maybe like 12.
I started shoplifting when I was 7, 8. Yeah, second grade. We went shoplifting, and I kept shoplifting until I was about 13. I would just walk into a random store and just put something in my shirt and walk out.
Yeah, I same thing. But like Rite Aid is when I started stealing stuff and selling it.
Oh,
so I would go. I'm like 13 years old, 12 years old. I'm going into Rite Aid stealing boxes of cigars, like the fucking Dutch Masters and the Phillies, and I'm selling them to the bodegas for like half the price.
And you're trying to tell me you had no hope for a better future? No, I mean, that's an entrepreneur, man. That's like
I know, but this is just for me. It's just like mischief shit that we do in the hood because it's not. What else are you gonna do? And like, I'm not a rocket. To me, that's rocket science. To me, it's like, yo, I put the fucking box of blunts under my coat and then I went down the block and sold it to them for half off. I'm getting over. So it's just, I'm getting over. It was never a hope.
Like, yeah, but okay. But how many other kids? How old were you when you were doing this?
Like 13.
Yeah. How many other 13-year-olds in your neighborhood were doing that?
There's 13-year-olds that doing way better than me.
Doing resale.
There's 13-year-olds that selling drugs and doing all kind of shit.
Doing, they were it was a fence. You were a fence even at 13, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Buying and selling stolen goods. So. And what was the other thing? You sold fake crack?
Yeah.
I never heard of that.
So I would go, me and my boys, we would go, we wouldn't do it a lot because you get killed fast shit. Like if there's someone, if it's my block and I sell crack on that block and you show up and if it was real crack, I'm going to kill you or fuck you up because why are you in my neighborhood? So my boy used to sell crack in this neighborhood.
So wait, hold on. This is
this
is the 90s? You were born in like...
Yeah, this is the 90s.
Yeah, okay. Uh-huh.
This is like the mid to late 90s.
This is like late crack epidemic. It's still there.
But this is like 96.
It's not the peak, but
98, 97.
I got to New York right at the peak, like early 90s. Oh, 97 actually. No, it's still going full.
It was going
full
hard.
Force. Yeah, it was going hard.
It was going hard.
That's right. Yeah.
So my boy used to sell crack for this dude over there in this neighborhood. So how it works is like, you know how it is. The crackhead sees you, he knows your face. So we was so like, yo, son, let's make a quick $20. See what we could do. Bag up a couple fucking pieces of soap or some shit. Put them in the blue bag, sell 2 of them and keep it moving. So we would do that shit here and there. And then even that, I'm like, yo, dude, we're going to get fucking killed. So we stopped doing that shit.
Damn.
All for fucking dumb shit. Like nothing, like for what? For a bag of weed, you're risking your life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I would always look at it. Like, I think I mentioned it on the panel that day. It's like, in hindsight, I'm like, dude, we were like committing suicide without trying to commit suicide. Well, it was that I don't give a fuck what happens to me. And that's where I think the non-hope thing goes into, where I'm doing things where I know there could be a tragic outcome, but it's almost worth doing just because of.
It's not suicide. It's a high risk, high reward venture, isn't it? I mean, you can get rich doing this too if you do it right and get lucky, or you can die.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't.
No, I wasn't even trying to get rich. I was just trying to make a few dollars.
But you weren't. You didn't have a death wish. You weren't doing it because you wanted to die.
No.
You're just saying it was super dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, in hindsight, I'm like, dude, I must have wanted to. Because then when I go back to the hood now, or I mean, I don't hang out in the hood. Obviously, I'm fucking smart now. But like, one of the last times, I would have to go through the hood to get to my house, because my house is not in like Co-op City. I live in Co-op City. It's not the hood. I mean, people still get shot. And cops and mailmen get punched in the face, but that's, to me, is not the hood. Like, it's still, it's like, it's just regular Bronx shit. Like, it's not like, it's not, you're not gonna come to my building and get hit over the head per se, but like, you might, but it's not no guarantee. So that's not the hood to me. If there's no guarantee, it's not the hood.
As Chris Rock said, there's always that chance you could get stabbed.
Yeah. But nah, I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
So you were hustling low level, very dangerous, 13 years old, doing stupid shit like selling fake crack. And then you graduated to selling weed?
Yeah, around the same time. He's like, oh, no, actually the weed was before the crack. So this is like, the crack was probably like around 14 and the weed was like 13.
So you're trying to move up in the game.
Yeah, I'm not even move up. It's like, yo, I got a friend that his uncle sells weed. We can get a bunch of it. Me and a buddy, we break it down, sell this much at school. Then we, chip our money back in. But then we ended up smoking all the weed. And it was like, all right, this ain't for us. This ain't for me.
It's so funny because like you had this very smart businessman, capitalist mentality. You like could figure out how to make money, how to make a profit off this thing, right? When you were a kid, whereas like most people I know, like, people with PhDs, some of them in economics. In fact, I just hung out with one yesterday who was a PhD in economics, who had no idea he could be making a whole lot more money on what he's doing right now. It was pretty funny. But, they don't think that way at all. And you're there like 12, 13 years old. And you're like, how do we turn this around so we can actually make some money on this? But you're saying it's like necessity, or you're forced
it's like a hunger too. It's just you're hungry. Sure. It's a different, like, if you don't have to, why would you do it? It's almost like my buddy I'm telling you that's making 14, 20 a month. It's like, if you don't have to go through that feeling of you don't know if you're gonna bomb or not, and you could just watch Netflix and really chill by yourself, why would you even risk it? Why would you? You have to really be some sort of I don't know what the word is. What's the people that like pain?
Oh, masochist.
Yeah, you have to be some sort of a masochist to do that shit. If you're good, that's why I never understood people that are like, you went to Yale or Harvard and you want to do comedy? What's wrong with you, bro? Like, I mean, I get it. If that's in you, then it's in you. But I'm the kid that's like, I dropped out after 9th grade. So I'm looking at you like, this is my last shot. When you got a lot of, who my alumni class is like dead.
Right.
Or like people that I can't use them for networking. I can't. There's none of my classmates that are doing anything.
Yeah. You dropped out in 9th grade?
Yeah, I didn't even complete it.
Wow. Which high school?
Harry S. Truman in the Bronx.
Oh, wow. Harry S. Truman. Great American. That was really unpatriotic of you, Petey.
I mean, I seen a kid get shot before school once, waiting. I was like, the second time I see someone get shot. And I was just waiting to go to school inside. Because, before they let in, for first period, everybody waits outside the school. So there was some kid that had a beef over something. It was a winter. I'll never forget. It was snowing. This kid jumps out of a car, shoots this other kid, shoots him again. And the kid's like running, holding his neck, fucking falls down some steps. The kid hops back in the car. His parents are fucking driving the car. The shooter, his parents were driving the car, tried to get away. It was snowing, crashed into a fucking thing. The cops arrested all of them. God. Before first period. And then when you get into school, you got to fucking go through airport security. The teachers treat you like they know you're going to jail. And then for me, like I said, I was always observant. So I always knew it was bullshit. I always knew. No matter what my mom told me, you could be what you want to be. I'm like, why are you not what you want to be? Is this what you want to be? Fucked up with 3-4 kids and you got like little bit of hope. So I always saw things a little differently than everybody. I was never like happy with what was going on. I had to accept it kind of, but mentally I didn't accept it. Mm-hmm. I was like, dude, this is like, and then even kids that went to college or whatever it was, it's like, for what? You're going to come back here? What are you going to do? Nobody leaves. Nobody makes it. Nobody makes it.
That's not true.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, I know now it's true. That's what changed.
That's what you thought.
That's what changed my whole perspective when I read the book Think and Grow Rich. Honestly, when I never even, that was like late, maybe like 28, 27, I read that book. And that shit changed my life, because prior to that book, I thought you couldn't make it. I thought it was like you had to be some kind of, in some kind of a network. You had to inherit these things like success. I didn't think you could be a 9th grade dropout and be a success. I didn't think that was possible. And then when I read this book, I'm like, oh, there's people that dropped out in 3rd grade. There's people that dropped out in 1st grade, but they had the will and the ambition and the desire and just the mindset to do it. So that once I read that, I'm like, holy fuck, I got a chance.
Wait, who wrote that book?
Napoleon Hill.
Huh. I don't know about that. So
of course you know about that.
No, I don't.
Kidding me. Get out of here.
No, I don't. Who? Napoleon what?
You're kidding me right now. I know he's fucking with me right now. That's like the underground. Like, it was like almost one of those things when I read that book. I'm like, you're telling me people have been reading this shit for hundreds of years? I gotta catch the fuck up. I felt like the whole world or everybody that was some sort of successful just fucking got such a head start. I'm like, dude.
Napoleon what?
Napoleon Hill. He's
Hill?
like this old fucking, Carnegie set him out on the mission. To fucking go to all these successful people and basically get their stories. And then to like the book basically showed you what everyone had in common. And he says it like in the first little thing of the book, where it's like, it's up to you to figure this out. Some people will figure it out in the first page. Some people they got to read the book 10 times. But it's up to you to figure it out. But the fucking ingredients are right here. As far as a successful mindset, I believe.
And you read that when you were about 26?
26, 27. To like 28, maybe. And I started doing comedy at 29.
I was going to say, is that right before you got really, really rich?
That was after.
Oh.
That was like, I got really, really rich. And then I took a crazy dumpster dive.
Right.
And then I just had to fight my way back up and try to fight my way back up.
And that's what you're doing now.
Yeah.
You're fighting your way back up. But so let's go back. So you drop out of 9th grade, and then what do you do?
After 9th grade, I chilled my mom's crib, just being a knucklehead, running around the streets doing dumb shit. And then my mom's was like, you're either going to get a job or you're going to go away to Job Corps.
Wait a second. Dumb shit like what?
Just, being a kid, hanging out.
Didn't you say you used to rob your friends or something like that?
Yeah, doing shit like that. Like just robbing friends and shit, and going out with a bunch of people to Pelham Park, like 4 or 5 homies, like, yo, we all broke, but we gonna get some money tonight. Like doing shit like that. Like you hitting joggers over the head, like those type of things. Like
you were like the last muggers in New York, right?
Yeah. Like, no, not even, because we would go, me and my boys, we would go to Queens, because we always felt like with dudes in Queens and like the malls, it's like they had more money, they had more pizzazz in Queens. So we would go, and then it wasn't in our hood, so we could go rob people that they didn't know who we was. And we would just sit in the parking lot at like, say, Green Acres Mall, see who came out with a nice gold chain with his girl, and just take it. He got a nice coat, take it, and we just sell it on the block or sell it at the pawn shop or whatever it was. So I was doing a lot of that, just hanging out, smoking weed, drinking 40s, and just being a fucking degenerate, pretty much.
How about girls?
Girls, they was there, but like it was never. It was like so much of you on the block with your homies and you'll fuck a chick here and there, but it wasn't like, I never had a girlfriend or nothing like that. I was just lost, I feel like, for the most part.
When was the first time you had sex?
I was like 14. Yeah. I was 14. We used to do these things called, we had to have the chat line. So it was like, I don't know if it was all over, but in New York, it'd be like, you call, it's like, this is the Raven. And it would be a bunch of, like, before there was AOL. No, actually, this is like around the time with the AOL chat rooms and all that stuff. But this was like, though, if you didn't have a computer, you could call in. And like everybody in the city, not everybody, but people in the city would like, Get in there, you tell them your name, yo, this is woo, woo. You make up a cool name, yo, this is Crazy Fly 718, yo, woo, woo, come through, and then you could like meet a girl on there, and then you like, yo, let's get a private room, and then you call, you get a private number, you go into the private room, and then you guys talk forever, and you're like, yo, why don't you come to my hood so I can fuck? And then so that was like the first time I ever got laid, and the funniest part in that story was, so I met this girl from Harlem, I don't even remember her name. She came to my hood, and the thing was, I would go to school in ninth grade. This is like ninth grade, 14 years old. I would go to school. After first period, I would go back home and just chill for the rest of the day. Like I would just basically, sometimes I wouldn't even go to school. I would just leave.
I did that too, actually.
And then come back home for like a year. So all of my friends, everybody used to come to my house. We smoke weed, hang out, bring girls over there, chill. And then, so one day I meet this girl, comes to the house. And my mom worked like 2 jobs. I'm like, she's not coming home, and she's not home. And then the first time, I'll never forget, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. She starts putting the condom on me because I'm struggling. I don't know what I'm doing. She's a pro. She's just like puts it on, and like just as she's about to jump on top and straddle me, my mom kicks the fucking door in. Boom! What the fuck's going on in here? I was like, holy shit. I was like, I'll never forget the first words out of my mouth was like, I don't even curse in front of my moms, but it caught me so off guard. I just go, oh shit. And then my mom's like, this whole fucking rant about you don't know when I come home, and you don't know I'm whenever, you know. But then she was nice. She was like, all right, now walk her to the train station and then come back. And then, but then I fucked the first time the next day because I was like, I conned the girl into coming back. I'm like, we're poor. There's no way she could take 2 days off in a row. Trust me. And then that was the first time I ever smashed.
Wow.
And then before that, I think I got head on the tail end of a train. Actually, that was a big deal.
Subway?
No, it was like 3, 4, 5 dudes on a girl.
Whoa.
Yeah. Off the chat line.
Was this consensual?
Yeah, absolutely.
Huh.
Yeah.
But it was on a subway train?
No. It was. We call it a train.
Oh, sorry. You were running.
I was on the last car of the train.
You were running a train.
Yeah, I was the last car of the train. It was like,
I thought you said you got hit on a train.
Because I like walked into this shit, and like we go, you know, there's certain friend's house you go to in the neighborhood, like there's certain friends. So I was going to my homeboy's house. Boom. I'm like, yo, what's everybody doing? Yo, you see like 3, 4 dudes on the front porch chilling and shit. You like, yo, there's a jump off in there. I'm like, what? And I go in, they're like, yo, you trying to get some head, son? I'm like, yeah. And I sat on the couch. I was like, wow, I never gotten head before in my life. And it was like an amazing experience. I chased that feeling for like so long. Like I was.
Don't we all?
Yeah. But like when you're a kid like that, I didn't have game. I don't feel like I didn't have.
You were how old? 13?
I was like 13. I was like 14 maybe.
Wow.
A lot of shit happened in like my 14. When I was 14, a lot of shit. I got my first gun, I think, at 14. I fucked for the first time at 14.
That's pretty much just like my life. Pretty much describing me.
Yeah. And then at 15.
You had a gun when you were 14?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I got robbed one time. Oh, I forgot about I was burglarizing too. I used to burglarize.
Breaking into people's houses?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Me and my cousin, we used to burglarize.
That's very bad.
Yeah.
That's very dangerous for everybody.
We were risky though.
God damn,
risky
man.
business. And then I remember one time we burglarized this dude's house, and it was like a gift birthday card or some shit, and they were like $400. We were like jackpot. Then it was like a fucking, mind you, I'm 13 years old, dude. They had like he had like a bag full of like bagged up weed, like, and we were like, we weren't smoking weed back then, but we were like, we're taking this, and we fucking took it. And then with $200, like, we split it 2 ways to half and half, 200. It's like, what are you gonna do with your money? And we're like, we're just fucking ignorant. So he's like, I'm gonna buy like 2 pairs of sneakers. What are you gonna do with your money? I'm like, I'm gonna buy a gold chain.
Of course.
And then we had to Fordham Road. We get this shit, and then we would like steal this dude's clothes too, because he would have like nice. There's one apartment we would break into. He would have like nice clothes and shit. And we would steal all that shit. And then I'll never forget the first day of, the first week maybe of high school. And that was probably one of the things that turned me off from high school too, because I felt like it was way too many people, and I didn't have that the feel that I had in other schools and on the block or whatever. Like now I'm dealing with all these kids from different neighborhoods, where before it was just dealing with people in my neighborhood. So so the first like week of school, I'm flossing. I got my gold chain out. I got my fresh Tommy Hilfiger shirt on that I stole. And then I'm waiting I'm on the bus on the back, just like trying to be cool and shit. Next thing you know, I get to a stop in the Valley in the Bronx. I just felt a punch to the face. Wham!
Oh boy.
And then I just felt something like a quick little pinch to my neck where like they snapped the fucking chain off my neck, like just yapped it. And then like, so they punched me like out the back. You know, when the back door, I was like standing like with my back kind of towards the back door. So like they punched me out the back doors. And like, so as like, it was like one movement. It was like one dude punched me and another dude grabbed the chain and I just went flying out the back door. And I was like, oh, I get up. I get up and I just see these two dudes just booking it up the block. And it was in the direction like where me and my homies used to chill. So I'm following them. I'm like, wow. I'm still following because of the adrenaline. I'm like, yo, I'm going to catch them and get my shit back. But they were gone. By the time I came to and like saw what was going on, and now I'm just walking home with a fucking shiner, and I'm just like, man, I'm walking to my friend's house, to my neighbor. I gotta go reunite with the homies. Like, yo, do you know who did this? Like, nobody fucking knew who did it. It's fucking Bronx. And then, but then that was a thing that made me be like, all right, if I had a gun, this would have never happened. And then,
so wait, first of all, they stole stolen goods.
Yes. Well, no, that was karma.
It's like an ecosystem.
It was karma because
theft.
I burglarized somebody's house to buy a chain and they stole that chain from me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So
it's just like everybody's stealing the stolen stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. So you got the gun.
That's what made me get the gun.
How did you buy a gun in the Bronx when you were
my
a teenager?
I ain't gonna say about it. Was one of my female friends' boyfriend.
Uh-huh.
So I bought it off of him. I wanted a 25 for 70, I think, or 60. And he played. He was like, yo, I got you. And then when I got there, it was a 22. I'm like, come on, man. But I was still excited to have a gun. But I wanted the little 25 semi-automatic. You know, the shit looked pretty. That was what I wanted. But I got an old fucking whack-ass 22.
Could still kill you, though.
Yeah, definitely.
How much was it?
Like, I think $70 or $60.
$60. You get a gun. Wow. Where do you know where he got it from? I'm always curious about how guns get in, because it's hard, especially in New York. It's so on lockdown. I mean, there's no
now within the last
even then,
15 years. But
even
no,
then,
before no.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying,
not in my hood. You could get a gun like nothing.
No, I'm just saying the regulations made it impossible to do it legally at all,
and it made it impossible to even want a gun.
Mm-hmm. Why?
I mean, some people, because the time that they give you now.
Oh, yeah.
They changed the law. You know that. They changed the laws crazily. So that made people like, and it did help a lot. I mean, it's still it's still the Wild West in some parts of the city. But as
I said in that panel that we were on, the stop and frisk laws, I believe, were essentially for that reason. Like that was what it was for, to get the guns out of the hoods, right? So when did you get arrested?
The first time?
Yeah.
Excuse me. So you said, what did I do after high school? I went to, my mom sent me to Job Corps. It's like a vocational kind.
This is while you're doing all this robbery and
this is like in the midst of
dealing.
It. So this is like, but she don't know what I'm doing. But she just like, she knows that I'm not going to school at this point. And it's like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? So then, yo, I'm going to send you away to this school. So I'm like, all right. And then
wait, just hold on. This is really funny. When you said she sent me to Job Corps, my first thought, because I'm so conditioned, because I've known hundreds and hundreds of people who have also gone to the Job Corps, but guess who they were? They were the people who were going to be the staff at the Job Corps. You went to the Job Corps to get a job, right?
Not to get off the streets.
Yeah, but I mean, they're supposed to employ you.
They're supposed to train you, and then
you
get your education. They train you, and then they help you to get a profession as a plumber when you leave, or whatever it is, a mason, bricklayer, whatever it is. But then,
how was that for you?
It was tough because they took me from the Bronx to Kentucky.
What?
I ain't never left the Bronx before. So it's like from the Bronx to Kentucky. So imagine the magnitude in high school that I was like, I got to deal with kids from the Valley and co-op fighting every day. I mean, rumbles, like 20, 40 kids just shaking it up in the hallway. And then like you got dudes from White Plains Road beefing with dudes from Burke Avenue or something. And then, so it was all of these gangs, and it's like, I have friends, obviously. I make friends everywhere I go, so I was always safe and good. But it just felt like a high stress situation to deal with every day, every fucking day.
Sure.
And who am I talk to? I can't talk to my moms about. Who am I going to talk to? So that was one thing. And then, so imagine going to Kentucky Where that and then going there, you gotta think, these is the worst kids in the fucking New America. That their parents are trying to get them out of wherever they're at. So I'm there with kids from Compton. I'm there with kids from fucking Chicago. I'm there with all kind of people.
It was like Con Air.
Yeah,
like,
it was. But the cool part though is that you do make these connections, because it's almost like networking if you go to school, where it's like I was always a cool dude around my way. Like I was always maybe not the coolest as far as money goes, or as far as, but I'm talking about the guy on the block that talks the talk that people want to listen to. Like I've always been that guy. Like I'm gonna say something funny, I'm gonna do something that people are gonna remember.
You had charisma.
Yeah, I was that guy. So like when I went to Job Corps, it transferred over, and I got kicked out of that Job Corps. I went to 2 Job Corps. I got kicked out of that one because they found like a knife. They found a knife in my locker or something. But that was for protection too, because it was like, yo, there was a Haitian kids over there, and they would fuck kids up. Like if they had a problem with you, at least 20 people's foots were gonna be on your neck. So my shit was like, it's just always been that I'm not going out looking for trouble, but I don't want to be a victim at the same time. So it's like, but they found that, kicked me out. And then my mom, one thing about my mom too, she always had my back and she always fought for me. So maybe she didn't teach me how to have hope or like certain things, but she had hope in me the whole time, I think, for some reason. I don't know, maybe I'm just her kid. So it was like when I got kicked out, she's always like, no, he didn't do it. Or like, who the and then she fought for me to get into another Job Corps. Like maybe like a few months later in Massachusetts, in Worcester.
What were these places like? Where would you live?
They were prison preparatory schools. It was like teaching you how to go. They was just basically like a pit stop before you went to jail for the first time, I think.
Like in Kentucky,
you're living in these dorms with these fucking bunch of delinquents, you know? And then you got like, you know, like the resident.
Like way out in the country somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't put you in a city,
I
right?
don't know.
Yeah. Isolate you, put you in dorms.
It's like prison.
Yeah. Wow.
And then
teaching you how to be a plumber.
Yeah, that's what I went there for.
Yeah. Did they actually do that?
No.
Really?
I got kicked out of the first one.
They didn't even try to teach you to?
They did. They tried, but it's like, come on, you can't teach someone to have will to do some shit.
Were there any kids who were into it? Like really did want to learn? They really did learn?
Yeah.
Okay. So it did succeed with some kids.
Some kids, yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot of them though.
Wow.
But and then so I got kicked out of that one, sent back to the Bronx, and then my mom got me into another one. And this one was in Worcester, like I said. And this one was like, I felt like, it's almost like you went to one jail, now you at the second jail, and you like, all right, I got the hang of this now. Now I'm gonna make some money.
You're
and
a veteran.
I see what the game's been missing. So I had this bright idea. My boy's back home, you know, his uncle sold weed or whatever. I'm like, I'm gonna get a $1/4 pound. Nobody has weed up here. I could sell a pinch for $10 and I'd make a crazy profit. So I go up there, leg full of like a $1/4 pound of weed down my pant leg. I'm doing my thing. I'm killing it for like a day or two. Next thing you know, this dude tries to extort me with a threat. And he's like, yo, if you don't he's like, yo, let me get some weed. I'm like, no. And he's like, yo, if you don't tell me, if you don't give it to me, see what happens. I'm like, all right, I'll see what happens. He fucking ratted. And me being a dumbass fucking criminal, at the time, I had all the weed in my locker. So all anyone had to do was say, he's got weed in his locker. And that's what the kid did. He's got weed in his locker. Next thing you know, the whoever runs the security guys are in my room going through my locker, find the weed. Then that's my first time I got arrested and went to jail at like 15.
Out of Job Corps.
Out of Job Corps, yeah.
Wow.
So I went so I graduated. Like you said, that was prison jail prep. I graduated into jail from Job Corps at like 15.
You were 15.
Yeah, at an adult jail.
They sent you to an adult jail?
Yeah. There was dicks like as a kid, yeah, you doing this badass shit, but until you're in the mix, when you're in that jail and those fucking, you hear that shit go click, 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 clank, and you hear that shit lock, and you like, I'm the youngest kid here. I look like fresh meat. I had no idea what jail or being locked up was about. I just thought you got raped and that was it. You got raped or you joined the gang, and that was the only 2 options. I didn't know how long I was going to be in there. I just knew that my mom always said if I ever got in any trouble, don't call her. So I didn't call her. I was in there for like maybe a week before the Job Corps called her, and she didn't even know I was in jail. And she's like, why you didn't tell me you was in jail? I was like, could you tell me not to call if I ever got in trouble? She said, I told you that to try to scare you from getting out in trouble. But then I'm 15 there.
15.
In a lineup with dudes, grown men, like grown criminals, and like everybody, you're stripped in a line full of dudes. You gotta take all your clothes off, you butt ass naked, and you're just like, is this where the rape happens? And then they're like, everybody squat, lift your balls up, cough, and all this shit. And then I was in a dormitory, like a big ass dorm, where it's just like a bunch of grown men. I'll never forget the NFL playoffs were going on, and I just was like. It was like I've always had those moments in my life where it was like it's just me by myself, and it's like what am I gonna do now? What the fuck I don't even know what's gonna happen next. It's like I'm just going along for the ride almost at that point. And I'll never forget my mom came to pick me up when she found out with one of her close friends, and they picked me up, and it was just like I always felt like a fuck up though. Like I always felt like there was always that 360 where I would come home and be like, well, Mom, the prophecy has been fulfilled again. You know what I mean? I'm fucking up. That's just what I'm good at.
Man, so my son is 15 right now.
Okay.
Can't even imagine that. So you know what? You're laughing, and I'm laughing.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Like,
I know.
It's funny. It's a laugh.
No, I know. It's your way of coping, probably, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but the feeling you must have had when you were in there. I just putting a 15-year-old, even as hard as you were, you know, in that situation, putting a 50-year-old in that situation. I've never been in jail, but I've known some people who have, and they have all said it's worse than you imagine.
Oh yeah.
And a 15-year-old in that and stripping you naked.
And in a room, it's one thing strip somebody naked in the room by themselves.
Yeah.
When there's 20 something other dudes, and you're the smallest guy, and you're gonna look at a dick or two.
Yes.
You have no choice but to. You're not going to stare, but you're like, holy shit, there's really dicks next to me.
Had you gone through puberty yet?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I was going through puberty.
My son's like in it now.
Yeah, I was going through it probably.
So he's, most kids are kind of ashamed, even more so about their body, right? When they're going through puberty.
But I was so shocked. I think it's like something like you going through, you're so shocked.
Yeah.
That it's not something that you're not, it's like even if you are ashamed, all that shit goes out the window. Because you're just going through something that you can't fully grasp. You don't even know what the outcome is going to be while you're going through it. Where it's like, and you have no control. I have no control. I don't know what the fuck is going to happen.
But I mean, you must have been terrified.
Yeah, I was fucking. My whole thing was I just didn't want to get raped.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what was going. But like it felt like everybody kind of not respected me, but it was like they knew I was like a young kid, and they knew that like they probably looked at me like, yo, man, he just a young kid that fucked up. So nobody really pressed me. I think they looked at me like the baby face kid that's with these grown men, you know. I can't say what would have happened if I was there for longer than a week. But, you know, from the time I was there, it was definitely some sort of a respect of, maybe not even respect, just maybe some sort of a pity they felt, you know, towards me. Like, you know, this kid's a kid, you know. But that shit started, like, that was all the part of the programming too, where it's like, I think me personally was just like, I would feel like I wasn't good enough, or I felt like I would always fuck up. So then that was also part of the things that pushed me into doing the things that I did. Because I felt like, well, I'm going to fuck up anyway, so I might as well just do this or try to do that. You know, I'm not going to be successful. Who the fuck is successful? That was my mindset. Like, who's successful around here doing anything legal? Everybody's just getting by. Everybody's just struggling and holding on by the skin of their teeth.
There must have been successful drug dealers.
Yeah, like one block. Every block has one.
Right. Like,
and success is like he's got a Honda Accord or something.
Really? There were no
bitches.
There were no major drug dealers who were truly rich?
I mean, I'm pretty sure there were, but not that I knew.
They probably...
Because we probably, too, is like the rich ones around us are like the lieutenants.
Yeah, right.
The bosses ain't in the middle of the hood. I mean. The bosses are like somewhere...
Yeah. But there's some... I mean, not a lot, but a lot of the bosses, at least, come from the hood, right? They're not just...
No.
Yeah, the outside...
No, they come
cartels,
from the hood, but they make it out.
Right. Yeah, but they weren't. There was no. Did you ever look? Did people ever look up to a drug dealer?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was getting at.
That's one of the things too. I think for me growing up, that got me into hustles later down the line, and even to now in life. One thing I always tell people, I think I might have said it on the panel in that show, where it's like, you got to figure out who you're going to be early on in the hood. Like, you got to figure out who, like this, you don't really have that time to figure it out. Like, man, who am I going to become? You got to know. I'm a fighter. I'm an athlete. I'm good with my mouth. I'm good with my words. I'm good with like, I'm a book guy. I'm gonna stay inside and do my books. So me, it was always, I realized at a young age that I had charisma. I knew that I had that. I knew that I could talk to people. I knew that, you know, that was my thing. I can make you laugh. That was my thing through my whole life.
You were a performer.
Yeah, I was always on. I was always like, because that was my method of defense of like, I don't got no money and I can't run fast and I can't really fight. So, you know, I'm gonna just try to entertain people, and it worked. The bullies like me. And then, so as I grew, it was like a loyalty thing. Like, so if I'm amongst a lot of people, I think people always looked at me and kind of, I stood out, where it was like, this kid, he got the charisma and he's loyal. So when it came to opportunities, even now where I'm at now in life, it's like, I feel like I still have that kind of, that thing that I learned, or that, the grasping the character that people gravitate to, where it's like, everybody wants to be around a loyal person. Everybody wants someone that's going to make them feel good. Everybody wants these people around them. These people are usually the most, I don't know. Cause that's what
I was just going to say.
That's what attracted me to comedy. Cause as a kid, I would observe the way that the older people, the guys, the hardened guys, the tough, you know, all the men back then had to be so tough. Oh, they're so tough. So to see them laugh, or to see them like imitate something that Morton Downey said, or like Howdy Doody, or a wrestler or some shit, I was like, I want that kind of a power. I want that kind of power that people gravitate, even the tough guys gravitate to it. So that's when I knew like comedy was, or that sort of entertaining and making people, that's just the feeling that I want to get from people.
Who were you loyal to at the time?
Just, I mean, loyal just means you're just not doing dumb shit.
Just whoever's around you.
Yeah.
You were loyal to.
Yeah. If you want to roll, if you want to do something, we're going to do something. We get caught, I'm not going to snitch. So I think when it came to time, like when I got into the other field of, you know, the white collar stuff. Yeah. The guys that put me on, they were able to look at all the other guys and they seen what I had going on, where I didn't have much going on, but that was almost a good thing. Like I don't do drugs. I don't have certain vices that other guys that probably could have got the job had. And I was loyal. You know, I was like the kid, and I could be easily manipulated because I just wanted money. So it's like, you know how you scare somebody that just wants money, that you give a little bit of money to, you go, you want to go back there? So I'll go anywhere for you. I don't give a fuck what I got to do.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just thinking about the night I met you. I think this is what you're talking about. Cause you, before you even knew who she was, before you knew she was going to be on the panel with you, you had no idea she was Heather McDonald, this political scientist. You made that connection. Like you saw her in the audience while you're doing your set, and you start talking and start like completely connecting with her and talking about her and how she's dressed. You're observing everything about her, and you're making guesses about who she might be. You said she was a social worker.
Yeah, so you look like one of my social workers handling my case right now.
That was maybe the funniest point of the night, because a lot of us knew who she was, and we were like, she's your enemy, man, run. She's not a social worker, but kind of is in a way. But anyway, you know, and then when I'm up there and I'm feeling you, like I'm feeling like hostility to the left of me. There were like two comics who were not happy with me, and then Heather McDonald to the immediate right of me. Also, I mean, I was actually relatively okay, but it was still not friendly. And then, but you, I just felt, I don't know, maybe I was wrong, but it just seemed like you were like curious at least, and like just like trying to make a connection in some way with me.
No, but that, like I said, my thing is, that's my thing in life.
And you noticed my socks, like, dude, you're observant.
We had the same blue heather, navy heather socks on. Yours looked way thinner than mine, but it was the same fucking pattern. So I noticed it. I'm like, oh. And I'm like, oh shit, we got the same fucking socks on. And like, even like, I was curious. And then when I saw the people in the crowd, these all look like college students or you know, just people that are not the people that I'm used to hanging out with.
And it was in Tribeca.
And then the panel, even JL Colvin, like, he's a comic. I don't hang out with him. I mean, I respect him like as a person. I don't know him. I knew he was kind of in law and all that stuff, but I didn't know him. And then the other kids, they're comics, but I barely know him. Like, I know him, but I don't know him. So everything to me is like, I know who I am to some extent, and I know going in, the best I can do is be who I am.
No, but you're like making connections constantly with people, whoever's in front of you.
Because I'm not coming from I don't have
no matter who they are.
I don't have a point.
What do you mean?
Like, I really don't, like, my point is a simple point of, hey, I just want you to feel good.
Oh, yeah, right.
I want to feel good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a point I was telling someone last night, I was like, I don't get caught up with the news and like the newspapers. Like, that's just fucking stressful.
Well, I mean, so your comedy is observant comedy, right? And you just notice things like pigeons. You have this great bit, which is on YouTube, about pigeons. And you talked in the set at that panel, before the panel that I was on, about your insecurity about reading books.
Yeah.
On the subway, about
public,
how you worry about how long it takes you to finish a page and turn the page. You worry that everybody's noticing how long it takes you to turn the page. But it's that connection with other people, I think, that like drew me to you. That's why you're here. That, and because you were funny. But yeah.
But I love people. At the end of the day, I think.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, but it also serves in a life of crime too, which is what you were talking about. Because when did you start hooking up with the white collar crime guys?
Maybe like 18.
Mm-hmm. So it's a couple years after this
19
experience in jail. Yeah. How did you meet up with them? Because that's sort of major league kind of elite crime.
It started on the lower level. I started as a grunt, I just started as a grunt. And it's almost like that thing of like, let's test this kid and see how he works, how he operates.
And these were guys in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
But they were, and
it's like one of the homies from the neighborhood linked up with another homie, and then they're like, "Yo, you ain't got anybody that could maybe do these things for us?"
And they were buying and selling stolen property. I know you can't say. There's some things you can't say.
No, they were stealing and selling.
Oh, they were stealing.
Property.
Okay,
so they weren't buying shit,
and that was true all the way through.
Yeah.
Your experience with it? Okay. Oh, I thought you were just the middle person in this thing.
I mean, I was the guy. I was the middle person as far as like.
You weren't stealing, but they were stealing stuff. You're not allowed to. I know. Let's just. So Petey's on parole and
probation.
Sorry, yeah. Probation, and one of the conditions, right, is that you can't say certain things. Right?
I mean, I wouldn't want to. Honestly, I wouldn't want to say things that.
I mean, not of the probation, but. Yeah. Legally, it's not a good idea for you.
Because these are things I haven't been convicted of. Like, I've been convicted of things I pled guilty to, but I haven't been.
So your lawyer has told you that there's some things you can't talk about.
He didn't tell me that. I just know.
Okay. Oh, really?
I've seen CSI.
That's right, because you had to get the public defender that time, right?
Yeah.
Unlike the fancy lawyer in Miami.
But no, like, so I was in it. A lot of it was I was in it. I was involved in stealing a lot of money. I would launder it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would clean it up. I had a bank account. That's how I got arrested, because they followed the money trail. Excuse me, back to me.
When you were 19?
No, this was like the feds let me go for a little while.
Right. Okay. So wait, hold on.
They came back when I was like 29.
Okay. No, I know. But you're 18. You're living with your mom in the Bronx, and you hook up with these guys who are doing more. It's another graduation, right?
Yeah.
You graduate to this is higher level crime.
This was Harvard.
This is better, much better money, right?
Well, no, this wasn't Harvard yet.
No, this was like junior college.
Yeah, this was like Junco.
But it's more money than certainly selling fake crack.
Oh, way more money.
Right.
And when I say way more money, I was probably making a good, maybe like, not even a lot, like 400, 500 a week.
Yeah, but still.
For doing shit like just doing this.
Sure.
Just signing some shit. Whoa.
Right.
Taking some shit and then going.
And it was not about drugs at all?
Nope.
Not at all.
Not even a pinch.
It was about stealing some property that you won't specify, and then
there were computer parts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh. You can't talk about like where those parts came from?
Yeah.
Like what kind of place?
There was Cisco system. It was Cisco Systems.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did they have
big boys.
Did they have like an inside? They must have had an inside person.
Inside. Yeah.
Someone who worked in Cisco. I used to know someone who worked in Cisco.
Or maybe not. No, I don't think it was that. It was someone that worked with Cisco.
Cisco. Yeah.
Because Cisco's so big.
S.
No, C.
Okay, there's two Ciscos.
Not Cisco the food. Cisco the CYSCO.
I know. I think I know.
But
anyway, I think I knew someone who worked there,
so it was that.
So someone was getting somehow parts out of that
yes.
place, and then you guys would work with them, and then you would resell them, right?
Yeah,
for a profit. Okay, that was the main thing.
And
then launder the money too. You had to,
and then you
had to launder the money.
Cleaning it up.
So you were a fence, right? Isn't that what a fence is? You resell stolen goods, and then but also you were a money launderer, and you're making $400 a week as a.
That was in the beginning. I was just doing pickups.
Oh wow! And they'd pay you $400 a week when you were 18 years old in the Bronx.
No, 400 to pick up. So if I had multiple pickups, I'm making 800. I'm making.
I didn't.
But I make like maybe like two pickups or one pickup a week. It was really light back then.
I mean, damn. I remember thinking when I was 18 that I remember $200 a week. Of course, this is in the 80s, but still, I remember thinking $200 a week, and I was good. Like I could have a nice life as an 18-year-old. But so that's big money for an 18-year-old, certainly from the Bronx, with zero education and zero job skills and a. You know.
And then I graduated from there when the homies was like, yo, come out of town. They picked me up in the brand new 600 Benz CL 600. And the other boy, like when the Range Rover first changed the shape and, you know, it was out of town, LA, they murdered everything out. So it was all black. I never even seen no shit like that. It looked like a Batmobile. It was like an all black Range Rover, black rims. They're like, yo, hop in.
And they roll up right into your, right in front of your
LAX.
house?
No, I'm talking about they sent me and then I came out to LAX.
Oh, they flew you to LA?
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
picked you up at LAX in the Range Rover.
And then, like, from a kid from where I'm from, that's all I needed to see. What you need me to do? How do I get down? I remember the first time we went to go hang out. We partied on Sunset Boulevard. I don't remember the name of the club. I was like, remember, I'm fresh off the block. I'm like 18, 19. I never really seen that nice. Dudes, we go to the hotel. They got the Benz downstairs. They got the Range Rover downstairs. And then, so we go into the club. And they're like, yo, you want to drive or you going to roll with us? I'm like, a drive? I don't have a car. It's like, hey, we got, which car you want? I'm like, what? And then so it's the black, the CL6. It's the Range Rover. I'll never forget Range Rover. And then they had a cherry red Humvee, like the old school Humvee with the rag top and the fucking black leather interior. I was like, I'm going to take that. And then they gave me the keys. So I didn't even have a driver's license. You got a driver's license? I was like, yeah, I have a driver's license. I just wanted to drive. I didn't even give a fuck what happened. And I just got that. And
wait, did you know how to drive?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't have a driver's license, but I know how to drive. I stole cars too before when I was a kid.
You stole cars too?
Yeah, I forgot that. More like
left that out.
So I'm driving, and this was like the initial. This was like, all right, now I'm getting into Harvard. Now I'm getting into Harvard, even though I'm still doing pickups. But now I got the perks. Now I'm like, dude, I'm 18 years old, 19 in a Hummer, cruising down Sunset. No, like looking like this, and I'll never forget going to the club. It's still so new to me. Everybody's kind of like, you know, it's Hollywood. Everybody's kind of chilling, whatever. And I never forget, I'm such a Bronx, like just fresh off the block. I want to fuck some chick there. I'm like, every girl, I'm like, hey, what you doing after this? Hey, what you doing after this? Hey, and every girl shut me down in that club. And I never forget outside, because we'd leave our shit up front. So like, I never forget when the club let out, because you know the clubs let out at what, 2 o'clock, 2 in the morning out there. They let out. I jump in the fucking Humvee and I'm just chilling out there for a minute. And then like all the girls that told me no, at the end of the show, they were damn near trying to jump on the hood. Like, wait a minute. I'm like, no, I'm good. I got to roll. And it was like that vibe. It was like, it was infectious. I couldn't, that was it. I would always think like, if you ever want to get someone to do a crime for you, that's not too, like you're not murdering someone, go to the hood and just take a kid in a nice car, take him for a ride in a nice car. He's gonna be willing to do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, and that was you.
Yeah, I never smelt a suede headliner before. Fucking Mercedes-Benz upholstery, like it's a different scent, different feel, different. It's just different, you know.
You were loyal, charismatic. You were good with people, good with words. And you weren't violent, right? Not really. I mean, that wasn't your thing.
No,
like you didn't have like that sadistic thing,
not at all.
Desire to. You didn't get off on hurting people.
That's why when this presented itself, I'll never forget when the person presented it to me. They said, "You want to make?" First, they always say the price. You want to make $400 or $200, whatever it was. I'm like, yeah. And then they say, and then it goes, "You don't even got to kill nobody." And I was like, word. So I'm down. I don't even have to know what it is. I ain't got to hurt nobody, rob nobody, hit nobody over the head, and I'm gonna make money. I just gotta sign some shit. I'm down. I'm all the way in, bro. Any day of the week.
Did these guys like start out in their own criminal careers doing this thing or something like it? Or
I'm pretty sure. I don't really know.
They were never doing dealing drugs at all, or never involved in that.
I'm pretty sure maybe like on the minor league level, but not on the.
This was the main thing.
This was like next level.
And how old were they at the time?
Around like probably like maybe like 6 years older than me.
Wow.
7.
And were they from LA?
One of them was from my hood, and the other one was from like I don't even know, but he wasn't from LA though. But they was both out. They was both in LA.
Right. And that was the base then.
Yeah.
So but you didn't move there?
Nah.
Yeah. So you just
I was just chilling there in like hotels and shit for like months.
Wow. So
nice ones too, like the Beverly Wilshire, Four Seasons, the W, Westwood, all that shit.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I used to date a girl from the Westwood. I met her. She was, because that's the other thing. When you see an 18-year-old kid rolling around, I'm super attractive at this point. Because it's just so like, who the fuck is this guy rolling like this? So I was attractive. You know, you got money. You got the newest fucking sweatsuit on. They're like, who is this guy in this Anichi sweatsuit?
So this would be like around what, 99, 2000?
Yeah, this was like 2000.
Okay.
This is like 2000. No, it's like 2001, maybe 2001.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had just married a woman who was from a very wealthy family in Los Angeles, big wealthy Jewish family in Los Angeles. And
my people.
Pete. Yeah, no, that's right. We found out. No. So you and I, we stayed in those hotels.
Yeah.
So you and I might have been like taking an elevator at one point.
I got arrested. Right then. I got arrested one time. I got arrested one time. I believe it was at the Beverly Wilshire.
Wow.
And
we would have thought you were a rapper.
Yeah, that's what most people did. That's why I got so much fucking pussy back then. I would roll through with the hoodie low. It's like, it's got to be Nelly.
Did you go to that Chinese restaurant, Mr.
Chow's? I got pulled over once on my way from Mr. Chow's with the girl from the Westwood, from the front door chick. Shout out to her. She was beautiful.
I remember right around that time we were at Mr. Chow's, and my sister-in-law at the time was a big Hollywood executive. And a big Hummer rolls up, and she says, it's a rapper. It's always a rapper.
You know what I had at that point? I didn't even have the Hummer. I didn't have that. I didn't have the Humvee. I had the Hummer that night when the H2 first came out. This was like early 2000s.
So you got arrested at the?
No, I didn't get arrested. I got arrested at the Beverly Wilshire.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget the story.
That's a hell of a place to get arrested.
Because you brought up the Mr. Chow's, and I'll never forget one day, and then like, it's a funny story. The girl that I'm dating at the time, we all go out to Mr. Chow's, fucking eating. I never seen a green shrimp in my life. Like, I never forget they had like these green shrimps. I was like, oh man, this is different. And then we get in the H2, we're driving, and I think I cut somebody, but it was one of those things like in LA, if they think you're famous, like there's people that are scammers that'll be like, you're in a nice car, they'll act like you cut them off, and then now they're following you, and they go call. So that's what happened. Somebody called the cops on me, said that I cut them off. I did something like, hit their car or something. I don't pay attention. I know that I've noticed some people drive up and they like pull. I'm like, I'm fucking pulling over. And then next thing you know, this fucking cop cars, helicopters following me. There's like a helicopter light coming through the sunroof telling me to pull over. I pull over. But then, you know, they straightened it out, and, you know, I got to go. But that was like it just.
Because someone accused you of doing something?
They were like, yo, I'm following this car that kind of cut me off and hit me. And they're not pulling over, so, you know, and they follow me. Just told them where they were at.
That's all it takes to get the cops to come down on somebody.
But with a fucking helicopter?
Oh yeah.
I did, because I'm from New York. I didn't know, and I've seen it before, but like I didn't know how crazy LA is with the helicopter. I'm like, yo, helicopter, this is OJ shit.
I know.
And then,
after I divorced the rich Jewish woman, I was very poor, and I lived in Koreatown for a little while.
Oh wow.
And it was in the Salvadoran section of Koreatown where there were chickens running in the street, and there were helicopters 24/7. Doing laps around the neighborhood. There's several neighborhoods in LA where that's the case. You see helicopters all the time, and it's all cop choppers, and they don't even allow civilian helicopters. I think it's all controlled airspace. But yeah, that's how constantly LA is policed. So
I got arrested in the Beverly Wilshire.
Oh yeah,
and this was extreme because I'm chilling in the room, and we were in fucking suites. I'm in a suite. I'll never forget. I think the 50 Cent mixtape just came out. 50 Cent is the future. The hottest shit in the streets. I'm in the room. The room's so nice. Next thing you know, I just hear knock the door. I'm in the room by myself.
Just a nice knock?
Yeah, regular knock. Like it could have been housekeeping. Next thing you know, dude, there's like literally SWAT.
In the Beverly Wilshire.
In the Beverly fuck.
Because of you.
SWAT. And like I had like a bunch of weed, but not like, I didn't have like a pound and nothing like that. Like I had like an ounce or two. But I'm just smoking, having fun and shit. And then so then they come in, arrest me, ask me a bunch of questions. I don't tell them anything. Yo, they look at my ID. You from the Bronx? What the fuck are you doing here? I'm like, yo, I just met some guys at the bar, and this is their whatever. I'm just hanging out, have fun. I don't know. I'm from the Bronx. I'm just here. Somebody asked me if I want. That was always my plea. Like, yeah, I'm from the Bronx. I don't know. I just can't. If I met you and you're like, yo, you want to do this show? I'm like, yeah, sure. It's always been my attitude. So I think with that, they just were like, all right, go. They let me go.
But it was over the weed? Or
No,
why were they there?
It was over the stuff.
They were onto you. Somebody was.
It was on to somebody.
Somebody. Okay.
And a crew.
But they didn't find anything. Is that why they let you go?
Yeah.
They didn't find there was no evidence.
They found shit, but it wasn't with me.
Wasn't
it was
that
with somebody else?
Okay.
But they thought the person was gonna be with me, and it wasn't. So it was like that. But it was like they found the motherfucker, and then they also came in there and they kind of shook me up, but then they left because they had got him, and then it was like boom. But they
didn't have the evidence with you.
No, that's why you got. Yeah, that's why I got to go.
Yeah. So then you had another graduation, right? Didn't you move at some point?
Oh yeah, then I moved to Miami.
Big time.
That was now
Big
that was like
time.
That was like Harvard for real.
Mm-hmm.
That was like Harvard law.
No, that's like getting the job at Wall Street after Harvard.
Yeah. Because that was when the dude that I was rocking with, the head dude, he kind of faded away into the back.
Mm-hmm.
He had to because of shit. Because after that, it was like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So now, once me and the homie found out like the hustle, it was like, all right. And that was another thing that I realized too, the difference between like that I've seen with people that I think are like, because you don't have to be from the hood to do crime, obviously, you know that. But I'm not saying like you've done it, but I'm just saying like as far as the approach where someone might have grown up good and they have that mischievous I'm gonna get over kind of deal. So they'll do it sparingly. Like say you could steal something from the store and like say you wanted a fucking, I don't know, projector or something. And you're like, I could just steal this one thing and then I get a projector. But then I'll chill until I need something else. It might be a month, 2, 3, it might be a year from now. But you keep it safe. You keep it simple. Like with the hood, when the hood gets involved, it's like, oh, they're going to have to tell us to stop doing it. We're going to do it every fucking second of the day. We're going to maximize this shit. We're going to just juice it. We're going to milk it until it can't be milked anymore. And that's what we did.
Like, I think you said this once before, like it's like giving a starving Ethiopian child, a Thanksgiving meal, right? And then
coming back and being like, you didn't save any?
Mm-hmm.
Like, save any? What?
Same thing, right? Yeah. That's what you're talking about.
And it's like, you know what I always used to look at it like? It was like the movie Catch Me If You Can.
Mm-hmm.
Frank Abagnale, where he would just, it's this compulsive thing of like, and you're so good at getting over, you're so good at the con. You get so good at the con after a while that becomes part of the thrill. Like the money is cool. Yeah, the money's great. But it's like, I remember times I would be on my balcony and look at the skyline of the city and be like, some of that money's coming to me.
Mm-hmm. So how old were you when they moved you to Miami?
Oh, and I was like, I wasn't even that long after that. I was maybe like 21.
You're supposed to be in college, Petey. What are you doing there?
I was living. I was getting like 20,000 a week.
Unbelievable.
15 to 20,000 a week.
You're like more. Did they move you like up in the organization?
Yeah,
is that what it was?
Yeah.
You had more responsibility.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Same thing basically, but just more responsibility.
Yeah.
Why Miami?
Well, for me, I used to live in. I think Miami was just. It just was so attractive if you were doing crime or you're doing anything illegal.
Wait, it was your choice to go to Miami?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I thought they assigned.
No.
I thought they assigned you to Miami.
No. I visited Miami once and I saw how one of my boys was living.
Wow.
And I'm like, man, if I'm living like this for a little bit of money, I mean, for that same amount of money, you're getting more bang for your buck, and it's more like, it was better in Miami for me.
Oh, so you were on your own there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You were doing this.
That was like my first nice house, nice apartment, whatever.
You were all by yourself doing this. Oh my God, I didn't know that. And you were making big, like
15 to 20 a week.
1,000,
yeah. As a kid, like I spent all my money on cars, weed, Versace, party, and fine dining.
Where'd you live?
Collins.
I mean, like what kind of place?
Oh, it was just a 1-bedroom apartment, but it was super nice. Like, I mean, it's nicer than anything I've ever lived in. hardwood floors, marble counter, automatic shades, view of the skyline, water view, crazy shower with a seat in it, California closets with the safe in it. You know, it's just nice fridge, stainless steel, everything, new appliances, and just like, I'm a kid from the Bronx. So to me, that was like, that was next level of just anything, exceeded anything that I could imagine as a kid. Like, even like I said, I always felt like I'm gonna do something by the time I would say like 20 or like 40. I would say like, by the time I'm 40, I'm gonna do something. And then it's like, imagine exceeding all of those things you thought you could do by the time you're like 20, pretty much 21. You know, so that was like, I don't know, it was a lot to take in. And I was a little dick. Like, I didn't know how to and money changes people. I never had money, so I didn't know. I was a little dick.
What do you mean? What were you doing?
I was just, the way I treated people. Like, I changed. Like, I wasn't like I felt like I could let my character go some. You know, I didn't have to depend on my character as much because now I got money. So now instead of me being nice to you, I just give you $50. You know what I mean? Now instead of smiling and give you that warm smile, I'll slide you $50 and say, hey, can I get, you know, I'm going to jump past this line to get in the club.
What were you driving?
I had a Porsche, 2000 and this is later. Early on, I had a 645 BMW, like they had just come out, black one. I had a Dodge Magnum when they just came out. And then I had a friend who owned a luxury rental spot. So I would give him like a good $10,000 a month, and he would just give me access to the car, to the garage. So I'd just pull out any car I wanted, like, you know, Benzes, Beamers, trucks, Range Rovers, all that. It's like, you know, SLs, convertibles, as a kid, you know.
In Miami,
as a kid. It was like, and then, you know, I remember what happened. I got arrested one time. Probably the first felony I ever got. I was in Miami running around, and I just felt unstoppable, invincible. I had 2 guns on me. I had like 2 ounces of weed. And I was living at that place. And I got pulled over. I'm just like smoking weed like a fucking idiot while I'm driving. I get pulled over. They find everything, take me to jail. And it was just like, that was like the first moment that was like, all right, maybe you're not invincible.
Was that the beginning of the end?
Nah.
You got off?
Nah, it was in the beginning.
Oh, you had the fancy lawyer, right?
Yeah, that was my man. Shout out to Frank Rubio.
What was he, like the celebrity lawyer for criminals in Miami?
Yeah. He was like the guy that gets people off. Like, he's that guy. He's that guy. He's the guy that's like, yo, this dude, they caught him with X amount of kilos. But how did he go free? Oh, guess what? The lawyer knows the judge, and they fucking best friends, and they work together pretty much. That was the most fascinating thing to me too, that I never knew about. I never knew that there were people sitting in jail just because they couldn't afford a good lawyer. I didn't know that there were people that had to sit in court all day because they didn't have the lawyer that can get them in and out like that without even having the people word to the lawyer, without people the word to the judge. Like you see your lawyer and the judge have a quick sidebar, and then he come to you and say, all right, let's go. You're like, well, wait, they're not going to ask me nothing or what? No.
You were too young for the OJ trial, I guess. I mean, that's what happened with him.
Okay.
Like he was, anyway, yeah, he didn't have to spend much time in jail at all. But,
or even in court.
Right.
Much less jail.
Or in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I wanted to ask you. So when you take your first trip to LA, what did you tell your mom? Where were you going? How do you explain that?
Oh, I was going,
with your broke ass self. How are you going to LA all of a sudden?
I was just going like to hang out with some friends.
That's it?
Yeah.
And she just believed it?
Yeah.
And when you moved to Miami?
My mom was like always like that. Like, even like, I'll never forget one time I gave her like, I think it was like $20,000 or something like that for her birthday. First time I could really give my mom some money. I gave her, I said, Mom, give me your wiring information and all that stuff. And I just put this money in her account. And then she, she called me, I believe the next day or later that day. And then she asked me like, how did I get the money or whatever? And I go, Oh, it was a good. That's what I told her. Actually, I didn't say I was going to hang out. I was going to work.
Mm-hmm. Much smarter.
So when I told her, I said, things went good for me at work this year or this last few months.
What did you say your work was?
Telecommunication shit.
Oh, okay.
Because that's what I was doing before anyway.
Okay.
And that's what like the shit too. Like that's kind of what it kind of aligned me into getting into it, because it was basically the parts that were stolen were parts that you use in the telecommunication field.
Okay, so that's how you met those guys. Okay.
Absolutely. So then
you sent your
mom the money, and then she's like, "How'd you get it?" I'm like, "Things going good," but like to me, and I knew she knew I was lying. Because it's like, dude, I dropped out in 9th grade. There's no way. There's no fucking way your life is going that good. Even now, like, you're just going to give someone $20,000. That's fucking ridiculous. But being that you're so going through whatever you're at and you're in the hood or wherever you're at, you're not really going to question it too hard. The money's already in your account and you probably in crazy debt already. So it's like, boom, I could knock off the debt I owe. I could help my daughter get a new car. I could move. I could do all of these things with the money.
Did you say daughter?
Well, my mom's daughter, like my sister.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, I see. You're talking about.
So I gave my mom the money, and these are the things that she did with it, and then held on to a bunch of it, and
How did you feel about giving that money to your mom?
It felt good. It felt great, but then in hindsight, it was like, damn, I felt like I couldn't be proud about it. So that's why even with comedy, it's like I could see the way my mom acts, like when she sees me do good, or she sees her friends say, "Oh, I want to go see your son," or something like that. Is a different.
There's still a conflict in there, right? It's not just a pure good feeling.
Yeah, it was definitely like it felt good of like, yo, for a second, but then after that, it was like, damn, like I just can't even. I remember one time I moved. I lived in a few places. So after that place, I got evicted because I got arrested, and it was just weird. That's why I brought it up too, because I brought it up because imagine being that age, right, early 20s, and the doorman being a black kid in his early 20s. And he sees you coming in every day with a new car. He sees you coming in every day with hands full of fucking shopping bags from Versace and Gucci. He sees you, where it's like, we're the same age, but you're different. And it's like, I was such a dick. Whereas the new me, if I was still doing that, he would have been my best friend. He would have been the guy. I'd have been buttering him. I would have been greasing his palm every 2 seconds. Because that's the dude that's going to be like, when the cops come, it's going to be like, nah, I don't know a pump. No, I don't have the key to that. So like they went to my crib because of him. Like when they got there, he was like, yeah, upstairs, apartment 8G, whatever. They get rid of that motherfucker.
Huh. Wow.
But okay, so fast forward back to I couldn't be proud of it, and I couldn't be proud of the money that I gave my mom. So it was just like that feeling of like, damn. Yeah. And then she's not gonna question it because she's fucked up.
Yeah. Where was your dad in all this?
I don't know.
He just was gone after you were 7?
Nah, he would pop back in and pop back. I actually lived with him for a little bit too. Like when I was, I think maybe in between job corps, like 16 or something. Like my mom was like, couldn't handle me no more and kicked me out. And then I had to go down to Atlanta and live with him for a little bit. Then she let me back in because I was like, all right, I'll go to another job corps. And that's when I went to jail.
So how did the high life end?
The high life ended by it just not working no more. It's like after you do something for X amount of time, people gonna figure out the pattern, and then so it just stops working, and then you can still try to do it. But then at that time, it would fuck with me. It would fuck with me mentally, because imagine going from making 15,000, 20,000 a week to like being happy if you made 10,000 a month or 5,000 a month. So then I was like, emotionally kind of holding on to that, and then when it wouldn't work, that shit would devastate me. Like fuck. Even though I kind of already scaled down my living expenses and my lifestyle.
Why were you making less?
Because it stopped working. It dried up,
paying off. Okay,
it started drying up, and then after a while, like my partner used to like be like, "Whoa, we gonna still do it. We gonna still." Whoa. And I was like, nah, because it was taking too much out of me. And then at the same time, I had lived, because I was homeless for a good month. I was sleeping in a car, like my car. I lost all my cars. Whether one of them I got repoed because I got pulled over. The lawyer was like, yo, you either going to have to prove how you got all of this shit, being that we found a gun and drugs in the car and they're charging you for trafficking and all this other shit. Like, they built this crazy case against me. Even though he got me off, he couldn't get everything done with. So,
you're homeless in Miami. You went from
so now
rich to homeless.
So I went from there, and I'm like, fuck. And then I moved into this place I'll never forget called Museum Walk in Miami Beach, and it was like the projects of Miami Beach.
Wow.
And it was like, that was like the beginning of the end.
Huh.
And then, no, actually, I'm bugging. Hold on. I made a comeback. That was my comeback. That was my comeback from sleeping in the fucking
in the car.
Oh, hold on. I'm leaving shit out. So I get arrested. And then I got arrested again. When did I get arrested again? Because I know I got arrested at that spot for the car thing. And then I got arrested. Oh, no, I think I was just like in the mix of moving because it was too like the arrest and all that shit. My landlord was like, all right, get out of here. And then I moved to a house in like Surfside, which was not that far from where I lived on Collins. And I lived there for a while. And then it was just a bunch of shit. When I got evicted from there. And then I moved up north to Pompano, where it was just because I was holding on. I was too scared to come back to New York. I was holding on. Then I got another, like, the hustle kind of started picking up again. I saved up a little money. Then I got a penthouse on 79th Street and on the Causeway in Miami. And then after that, then it was like, and then I had to go move to the fucking into
the projects
in Miami Beach. But before the penthouse, that's when I was homeless for like a good like month.
Just because the hustle is drying up.
The hustle was drying up, and I had too much pride because I was so high up. I was so high, I didn't know how to deal with it and tell people like, yo, I'm fucked up. Like, I'm so fucked up right now. Like, I don't know how to survive. I don't know what I'm doing. I got rid of everything. One of my cars got repoed. The other one I had to sell. It was just like, and then all I had left was my project car. The windows didn't work all the way right. So now I'm sleeping in the backseat of the car. I'm getting fucking rained on and shit. And I'm like too prideful to ask someone to sleep on their couch. And like also it went to that point again where I'm by myself again. Where I'm like, man,
that's the worst part.
It's just you dealing with the shit. So it was like the time when I was a kid, 15.
Yeah.
Then it was like that time, the first time, but the other time I got arrested with the guns, that time. To that time when I'm in the back seat of the car, it's raining, and then to like after that, I started. I don't know. Maybe it was like this girl that I met. That was around the time like 25, 26, 27. 27 is when I kind of just was like, I was holding on. 26, 27, I was still holding on. Like maybe this hustle, even though it's like it's diminishing.
That's when you read. That's when you read the book.
Yeah, that's when I read the book, and I was like, you know what? I don't need this shit. And I quit. And I was like, I'm gonna believe in myself, and I'm gonna fucking just try to do my own thing. And I would somehow figure it out. Like, I would figure things out. Like, I remember I sold custom sneakers for like $150 a shoe. I just figured, I was like online one day, I saw them. Like, they sell them now in the mall and shit, but like before then with the lights and the sneakers, I was doing that just because I saw it online, and I was just research, and then I was just like, I'm going to experiment, and I experimented with it. Everybody was like amazed by it. And then fortunately there was a store on Miami Beach that sold custom shoes. So it was like, it cost me maybe like $8 to $15 to make this, and I'm selling it for $150. And this dude would stockpile them, so he's spending like 3, 6 at a time.
Here's what my 15-year-old son wants to do more than anything. He aspires to what you did. He wants to flip sneakers, custom sneakers. It's exactly what you're talking about. It's funny. So,
but that saved my life for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, but that was like when I was hanging on. So then when I was living in the bedbug projects, that was like the final thing, one of the final steps. And then I started hustling the sneakers, and I was making money, paying my rent off of that. I was like, wow, I'm struggling, but I'm paying my rent off of this thing, which was legal, totally legal. And you know, the people from this world would still come back every now and again, and be like, hey, you want to make a quick 5,000 or like 4,000 or like whatever? And I'm like, yeah. So then I started doing that a little bit more again, but then it was the headache of it not working. So now I'm banking on like making 4,000 or 5 or however much the hit was. And then when the hit don't go through, it's like, fuck, you feel like shit. And then eventually I couldn't live at there anymore. I couldn't afford it anymore because even the sneakers started kind of drying up a little bit. And then I took a roommate. I had my first roommate, and I never had a roommate in life as far as being an adult. And my boy, his dad owned a house in Miami, nice little house, backyard, and it was like $500 a month. So I'm like, I couldn't afford that, even if I got to get a job. So this was like, but I'm still believing in something. I'm still believing that I can be successful. I don't know exactly at what yet, but I know that there's a chance. And I tried to do art for a little bit. I thought I was like art because I was hanging out with all these artists.
What kind of art?
I would do I was fascinated with the lights, the same thing, because everybody knew me from the sneakers with the lights. I'm like, wait, I can probably do art with the lights the same way I use them in the sneakers. And I would do like these half images that were like symmetrical images, but like with the lights coming out of the mirror, like a mirror. I get like a plexiglass mirror, and then I would do like a symmetrical image to where I only have to do half of it, so you can see the other half at like a certain angle of the reflection. And I would do that, and you know, I maybe sold like one piece. And to me, that was huge because I'm like, I'm not a fucking artist. I thought I was, but in hindsight, I was just trying my hand at shit at that point. Like, I didn't know what was going to hit, but I knew. And then I always had a friend. His name is Dave. I didn't always have him, but I met this guy, Dave DeBenedetto, dude from Miami. And he was one of the guys that like helped motivate me to the point of like, he had his own business and he would always preach this like, because we would have a gang of friends, but he was the just complete opposite of all the other friends because they were all artists. But he was like, he's still an artist, but he was like, I guess he matured before a lot of them to the point of like, no, I'm going to have a business. I'm going to live a good life. I'm going to do the right way. And then he would always, because my friend, the roommate that I moved in with, he's like, even now, he's a world-renowned graffiti artist, right? He's actually got a piece up the block on Suffolk. It's a big orange face. He does like orange faces. His name is Atomic. And I met Dave through him. And Dave, I think once I mentioned Think and Grow Rich to him, that was enough. Because I think I was the only one that he'd ever saw that looked like me, like in his circle, that was on that wavelength. So we would always kind of like, he would send me a motivational clip and he would always try to inspire me and shit. And then one day he invited me to some speaking engagement at the AAA, at the American Airlines Arena. And I never forget, he's like, you want me to give you a ride there? I'm like, no, I'll meet you there. And I got there like so early because I was just so pumped. I'm just like, I don't know, excited to see this. And then I go, and at this time too, I was working retail at a sneaker store with one of my friends in the hood, like the hoods of Miami. And like I was on the way out of there because it was hard for me to transition from being this mastermind of what I thought was a mastermind to going working for some Israelis at like 20 years old talking to me like I'm a piece of shit. Like I was like, it was a hard transition for me. Man. So, but this dude, he took me to this thing. There were a bunch of speakers. There was like fucking, who was it? Like Barbara Bush or some shit. No, not Barbara Bush. What the other Bush? Laura Bush. Like fucking Adam Clayton Powell, Dan Marino, and these motivational speakers. But there was this one guy, I don't even remember his name. He was like the in-between guy. He came in and he said something that struck me and it changed my life. It made me it guided me to comedy because he said, if you die, don't die without trying to at least do something you always wanted to do. Because that might be the thing that on your deathbed, like, man, things could have been totally different. So it didn't hit me right away. I had just got fired from my job at the sneaker store. And I was just on the couch like, man, what the fuck, man? I'm just like, and I had made some money because I was always good with that too, like hustling. Like I'm good at making something out of nothing. For some reason, I don't know how, whether it be, then I started a t-shirt company for a while.
Damn.
We were making like, and it's somebody, so I'm on the couch.
You are Jewish.
No, and you know what?
You sound like every Jewish immigrant ever.
You know what I used to do too? And this was like totally by mistake, but it taught me something. I remember I had this idea. I think it was I don't remember. It was the Heat were playing the Mavs in the playoffs. It might have been like, I don't remember, whatever year it was. I came up with this idea for design. Mind you, my roommate's a graphic designer and a graffiti artist. So I would come up with ideas because it's still that creative spark of that thing of like kind of knowing what people want or what turn people on. So I'm like, what if we take the Heat logo and then just like make it like spell hate, but it's just like the Heat logo with the flame coming off the E instead of the T. No one had done that to this point. And I was so passionate. And then he mocked it up. I didn't have any money to print shirts. So what I did was I went to the store that I worked at, the retail store I worked at. And I knew how the way the Israelis were. Like they knew somebody that did everything, you know? So I went to my friend, his name was Alon. And I go, hey, you know any printers? So that right there piqued his interest. Like, what do you want to know with the printer? What do you got? I'm like, yo, I got this idea. And I'm like super passionate about it. I'm like, yo, it's this t-shirt idea. He's like, what? How much you want to print? I go, a dozen. And he's like, what? A dozen? And then he goes, all right, hold on. He's like, you sure about this shit? All right, hold on. So then he makes a phone call. And then he turns back around. He's like, all right, here's what we'll do. 12 dozen. We're going to print 12 dozen. And he's like, we split it. No, he goes 60-40. I keep 60, you keep 40, but you don't have to invest anything. And you're getting 40% before profit. So I was like, oh, fuck yeah. And then my boy saw that. And then he was like, yo, how come you didn't come to me? Like not my boy Dave, but I had another homie who's eventually turned out to be my best friend. He's like, why didn't you just come to me? And I'm like, because you shoot down all my ideas and everything I have. It's like, he's one of those friends that's like, prove it. You always talk about these great ideas you have, but you don't do anything. So, and then he saw the way that these shirts were fucking selling. And at the time, his grandmother, I think, had passed or something like, I think so, and like left him some money. So he's like, how about I invest and then we do this shirt company or whatever. And then we made a nice amount of money off of it.
Selling t-shirts.
Selling shirts. Because we were in the retail store, so we knew what people wanted. Yeah. That was like the thing. I would look at a bunch of shirts and go, I could do better than that. All I need, I got the graphic designer at my house. And like, so then anyway, after that, I hit a wall. I get fired. So I'm just living off of the few dollars that I'm making from the t-shirt business. And that's kind of dwindling away. And then, so I'm on the couch and I'm stressed because this is the first time it hit me like, dude, you got no life skills. You got no education. You've just been swindling you've been getting by this whole time, getting over on whatever your hustles are. But now it's like, dude, what are you going to do? You're about to get fucking, like, what are you going to do? And my biggest fear was coming back to New York. Because I knew there was nothing here for me. It's like, I'm going to go back to the hood. No, I'd rather be a bum in Miami than go back to the streets of the Bronx. Because at least I got a beach in Miami and I could be a beach bum. It's warm. I could get by. Like, I don't mind getting by. At least I got a good vibe. Right? At least it's like good air and there's nice things going on. There's plenty of things I could do. And then it hit me. And I'm like on the couch one day. I'm like, dude, I always wanted to try comedy. I never tried it. I tried once and I gave up. I never tried it. And then I'm like, dude, I don't know. Something in me was like, I could maybe at least try it. And I'll never forget, I had a friend, her name was Evo. She was an artist. She made me cry one day. Like we were talking because she's an artist as well as a curator of a gallery in Miami. And she gave me a shot to do a show with one of my friends. And he actually went on, he's doing big things now. He just did a collaboration with Nike like recently. And, she was like, I've always had that thing of like, I don't know if it's the hip hop arrogance of like, I could do something, but I could do it better. And I know it's what I'm going to be able to do. And she was like, no, you're not an artist. I'm like, what? I'm better than, I started saying all these, I was like, had a Kanye moment. I started saying like all these names of these great fucking artists. And I'm like, I'm going to be better than them. And then she's like, no, you're not even passionate about it. And then, so whatever, we had a little falling out, but then we came back together, and I never forget when I figured out I wanted to do comedy. We were in her kitchen, me, her, and my boy Abstract, and we're smoking weed. And I said, I think I'm going to try to do comedy. And like, she got so serious at that moment, and she goes, that's what you're supposed to do. And she's like, that's the thing that's going to change you. That's the thing that could change your life. That could be your ticket for a better life. And at first I was like, yeah, whatever. But then I kind of believed it. So that was part of the, then I just started researching, how do you get into comedy? What do you got to do? And, you got to open mic. Oh, you got to go look, check out a show. I'd never seen live comedy before. I only saw it on TV. So then I just then I was obsessed. Then it was like, dude, I'm going to every show, any show there is in Miami, I would go. The first time I went to a show, I watched, and not for nothing, but I was watching these kids and they were bad. And I'm like, I could at least do that bad, at least to get up there. If they could do that bad, I could do maybe a little better than them. I'll still be bad.
Who did you model yourself after? Who were the great comics for you? Like when you were a kid?
I didn't really, it was just people, to me, is I think the observing. It was always that I saw the funny things, like whether it be the Asian lady that came on the train selling batteries, I'm gonna mimic her, or whether it be the kids that back in the days of Subway, there were Subway dancers, but they weren't intricate pole dances back then, but they would have little routines. I remember there was one me and my sister used to love. These two kids, they would come on the train, and one would sit on one's lap and put their shirt over it. You remember that? And they look like, the kid looks like a midget, like the kid that's laying down is moving his foot while the kid on top is just doing that. So that was like those were the funniest things to me. So I would just try to imitate that type of stuff. And then when I got into comedy, I think too, like when I got into the hustle, when I started graduating into the hustle, my brain started changing. My ideas started changing. I had to be able to adapt into the Four Seasons. I had to be able to adapt into these certain places. So this is going to sound cheesy, but I watched the movie The Matrix years after it came out, and I saw I understood it bigger than like just the action. I understood it. And I was like, wow. Everything I learned, it was like bullshit. It was like when I was programmed this whole time to be and to live in a certain kind of way. So I was already heading towards this way of being, I guess, or like being more mature, or just whoever I'm gonna be. So then, with the comedy, and then I started watching Carlin. And this is like as I'm an adult already. Like around the same time I saw The Matrix the first time, I really got into Carlin because he was talking about a lot of stuff from The Matrix, but making it funny. So a lot of times too, a lot of people go, I didn't like Carlin's older stuff. I love Carlin's older stuff because it's like
George Carlin.
Yeah,
who doesn't like George Carlin's older stuff?
A lot of people would go, when he got older, he got angry. I'm like, no, dude, he's pointing shit out. He's fucking
when he was older.
When he was older. But no, even that, even the capacity that he had, his memory. His observations. After watching Carlin, it was almost disappointing for me. So I didn't want to do comedy because I felt like he said, this is before I even thought I was gonna do comedy for real. I gravitated to Carlin as far as entertainment, where I go, I'm not gonna do comedy. He talked about everything there is to talk about. Anything mundane, anything you could look at walking down the street, and he talked about everything. From a perspective of like a guy that's like, hey, what about this? Anybody notice this? And you're like, man, yeah. So he had that. And I think for me, honestly, I think Carlin, if I had to answer that, I would say it's like Carlin for that, Tracy Morgan for the fact that he could be who he is and still get accepted. Not even that his comedy does it for me or anything. It's the fact that he could be who he is. And that's what makes him that's what people gravitate to. So that, and then like this other guy, he's dead, Mike DiStefano. I was a big fan of his, and I found out about him after I started comedy, but our stories were so similar, and just like how rough his life was, and he's from the Bronx and starting late, and like, just his point of view it was so rough, but it was so like sensical. Like it was so like one of his jokes, my favorite jokes, he goes, I never use the N-word, not because it's like I got friends that are like the N-word means something to like people that were in the civil rights, and he's like, I mean, I'm not scared of black people. Like I would kill a black person, like I would stab him, like, but I'd just be like, you African American piece of shit. So like those type of ways that you could like make reality funny and just teeter the line of like what's acceptable and what's not. Those are the people, I think for me, those are the main people for me that I gravitated to in comedy.
So meanwhile, when all this is going on, the rise and fall and rise and fall and rise and fall, and then you think you're going to do comedy, there's something going on in the federal government that's not so good for you.
It's called a case.
Yeah, they're building it. They're building a case, right?
Yeah.
So what happened?
So what happened? I had saved up enough money because I was doing comedy in Miami for like maybe 3-4 months, and people were like, "Oh man, you're good," and I'm like, "Dude, I stink." Like I've always been realistic too. I'm like, I fucking stink. I'm not good. But I guess that I had something. I had a drive that they didn't see, or something. I had something that people saw
ambition.
That I didn't see.
I'm telling you, you always had ambition. Sets you apart.
I didn't see it though. So then these guys are like, "You this, you that," and I'm like, "All right, I gotta go back home. That's the Mecca." I used to be scared to go home because I didn't have a purpose, but now I had a purpose to go home. So I went home, and I'm like, my mom, and like she doesn't know what's going on, but she knows I'm kind of fucked up, and I just come here. For a month, I start like just engulfing myself in this shit crazy, and then
were you living at home?
Yeah, I only visited for a month. Within the first week, I'll never forget. I was getting mentored by this dude named Dustin Chafin at the Greenwich Village Comedy Club. He was mentoring me. It's like, you know, and then he had an assistant, and I'll never forget. After the first time I met with him, his assistant. And I was so excited. I came back the next day. I told the assistant, I said, "Oh, I'm going to move here." She said, "Yeah, don't move here yet. You go back home for like a year and then move here." Right. And then a few days later, she says, "No, I changed my mind. You got to move here." I'm like, "Why? What happened?" "Oh, because this guy said you're going to be a beast." So that right there was like, I was like, I'm moving tomorrow. I went back home, packed, got all my shit. I'm not going to struggle here no longer. I'm going to move and struggle and have a purpose somewhere. So then I moved back here, and actually before I even got back home to move back here, right? It's a bringer show. So it's like a show that newer comics do. It's like their only way to get into the club basically and perform in front of their friends and family, which is bullshit because
what's the deal? You have to like bring
5 to 10 people, whatever the minimum of people is you have to bring.
And then they give you the mic in exchange for that.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
So I did that. I remember the first time I did that, I had like about 20 people come out, like people that I hadn't seen. I had my godmother come. I hadn't seen her in like 18, 19 years. I had family come out I hadn't seen in so many years. And it was just like that thing of like, that's where the Hope of the Hood came from. Cause it was that thing of like, I could tell how people looked at me like, wow, this motherfucker's really trying to make it. And then like, I'll never forget my godmother. She's like, I saw the kid that was set when he was 7, but he's an adult on stage. And it was so, and I could see the way my mom looked and like she was just so proud because everybody's like, you know, just like, yo, your kid's doing it, you know? And then the next day I fucking get arrested. Like the next day. And this was like maybe 2 or 3 days before I was supposed to go back to Miami to get my stuff and move back. So I got arrested like 2 or 3 days. I'm at my mom's house. I get a knock on the door. I open it up. It's like a few guys with their guns pointed at me, pull me into the hallway, frisk me, take me into the house, check my house. All right, now you coming downtown with us. You know what this is about? I don't know what this is about. Oh, you know the name Cisco? I'm like, oh shit. Nah. Like, no.
Never heard of it.
And then, so I'm like, I know the rules. Like, I don't say shit until I speak to a lawyer. I'm not telling you shit. You can have all the small talk you want with me, but when you talk about some crazy shit, I don't know what you're talking about. I got to talk to my lawyer.
What was really inside of you right then in your mind?
At that point, I'm like, I didn't even know because it went back to that same sense of shock when I was 15, where it was like, it's like you're in some sort of a whirlwind where you're like, I don't even know what's going on in the middle of this whirlwind, but I'm in it and I can't get out right now. And then I'll never forget, like, just being in the cell. It always reminds me of like the Matrix 2 when Neo was in the train station and he just couldn't get out. So it was like you're just in this purgatory of somewhere where you're like, what the fuck? And then it all started hitting me. And I'll never forget, I called my mom and asked her and just told her what was going on. I had a bond. She bonded me out. Her and my sister put their apartments up for collateral.
Wow.
And their houses or whatever. And she came to pick me up. This was like a day after, man. The day after the show where everybody's like, wow, P's gonna be a comedian. Yeah. So the day after, and I'll never forget, she picks me up. She like, after she got out of work, she picks me up. I'm fucking 30 years old now. I'm like 30 or 29, 30 at the time. Like I felt like I'm figuring life out. A little late, but I'm figuring it out. And then, so then that happens and she fucking comes to picks me up. We take the 6 train home. we don't say anything the entire ride. I'm just sitting next to her like I'm fucking 10 years old again. And we take the ride all the way home. And then we get to the house, and then I just fucking start breaking down. And she goes, "Why are you crying? What the fuck?" And she doesn't curse. "Why are you crying?" And I'm just like, "Well, I finally made you proud in life." Because I think as a kid, at least when you get some sort of sense of it, you want to make your parents proud. You want to show them they did a good job, even if, because you know you're a parent.
Oh yeah,
you're always insecure. You're maybe not always insecure, but you always feel like you just want to make sure they turn out right. And you did your job.
I'm a parent and a son, and that's still, I'm 51 years old, and that's still, I'm sure, drives a lot of what I do. Is I want to please my parents. Right. So yeah, man.
But then my mom says, she says, "Stop crying." She goes, "Because I'm so proud of you." Wow.
Still,
that was a thing. Like, I gotta fucking do this. That was like, there was certain things. And then, so I was out on bond for 2 years. So when she told me that, I'm like, it's go time. I'm going to be the hardest fucking worker guy that anybody comes across. Like the hardest. Dude, I'm going to fucking clean toilets if I got to. Because I had somebody that believed in me, where it was like, to the point of, don't even worry about rent. Don't worry about anything. Just worry about getting good at this shit.
Yeah, man.
And then
you're very, very unlucky in a lot of ways, but boy, that's the luck you had always.
Yeah,
your mom.
My mom's.
Yeah, sounds pretty extraordinary.
Even
at least
when
in that
I went
way.
to court. So I'm out on bail for 2 years, perfecting my craft, or trying to perfect, or trying to get a grasp of the craft. Not even takes years to perfect anything, but to get in the grasp of the craft. And so I'm not telling anybody that I'm going what I'm going through, that I might be going away for 5 to 20 years. So I'm going with this burden on my shoulders for 2 years, 2.5 years, every day, waking up. That comedy took my mind off of that, where it's like I could wake up every morning and just do something. Go to the coffee shop. I go to the club. I'm the first one there. I'm staying the latest. I'm doing the most. I'm being the most useful. And I don't mean by being funny. I just mean by, well, you want me to seat people? I remember I'll come in if there's snow. You want me to shovel the snow? Just because I wanted to show my value and to keep my mind off of, I might go to jail for a long time. And I'll never forget when I finally, after 2 years, we went to the sentencing. And it was these guys in these suits from Cisco, like about 8 guys over here. And
want our money back.
These guys. And just one little black lady from the Bronx.
Wow.
In my corner.
Wow.
Against this whole fucking situation. Like the judge, the judge is there, the fucking, the lady that types, the not stenographer, whatever it's called.
This is a federal case.
Yeah.
So you have the United States government
it's
against
the
you.
United States of America versus your boy. I have a joke about that.
And his mom.
Yeah, I have a joke about that. I go, how am I going to be Team USA by myself? Like, are you kidding me?
Right.
Where it's like, so then my mom, and then I don't know what happened or whatever. I think I just pled guilty, and I wrote a little thing like, I understand what I did, and I told him like, I didn't have to get caught to stop. I stopped on my own. You didn't catch me doing the crime. You caught me after, and then I said I'm doing comedy, and I gave him this whole thing of like whatever, and then I never forget the judge goes, he's like looking over the thing, and he goes, well, I understand, you're doing comedy, and I know you can't beat Richard Pryor overnight. And when he said that, I'm like, he's going to let me go. And he let me go.
What?
$580,000 restitution later and 200 community service hours later, he let me go.
What?
And then that was like, so that was the next moment that was like, all right, I got to be the best comedian ever. Like, that was it. Like, that's just my goal every day. It's like, I got to do something. I got to be something.
So this is like what, 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
This was in 2014.
Yeah.
14, 15.
So he said, you got off with 200 hours of community service
and $580,000.
Have you served the community service?
Well, I'm at like 74 hours now.
Oh, to go, or that you've done?
I've done 74.
You've done 74. Yeah. Oh, okay. What do you do?
I volunteer at a soup kitchen in the
Bronx.
I
think you actually mentioned that on the panel, right? Soup kitchen in the Bronx, and you owe $580,000.
Yeah.
How are you gonna pay that back?
Comedy.
By becoming Richard Pryor.
Better.
Yeah.
With all due respect to Richard Pryor, but I don't look at anything and go, I just want to be that guy. Or I never look at it. Maybe that's the thing that why I don't talk to people about certain things, because I know people look at me like I'm disrespectful or crazy. But these are the things that I don't know. Like, if I was playing basketball, I wouldn't go Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time. I'm like, they ain't see me yet. I ain't reached my full peak potential. That's just how I look at things.
So let me tell you something. I have a portrait that is 6 feet wide and 4 feet tall in my house of Richard Pryor.
Oh, wow.
He's been my hero since I was 13 years old.
Right.
I went to go see him in 1979.
Jeez.
I mean, the movie, sorry. Richard Pryor live in concert, the very famous movie. Yeah. That changed my life. And Richard Pryor and black comics in particular, just I've always looked up to. And he was kind of my first model. And I tell people, they think I'm kidding, but like when they ask me who my influences are as a historian, as a scholar, as a professor, I say it's Richard Pryor, number one. He taught me to look at the world differently. The way you talk about it, the observant stuff, the stuff that you're not allowed to look at or talk about or see. So, but I was going to say to you, he's my hero, but when you said I'm going to be better than Richard Pryor, right? With that what you called hip hop arrogance, I wasn't offended. I think you're right. I think you have to think that way.
Because at least if I fall short, I'm going to be great.
Yeah, man.
So, but like, even like, this is funny you asked me, these were my comedy, like I said, George Carlin, this guy and this guy. But initially, my first influence, you didn't ask me who my first influences were. Okay. It was Howdy Doody. I swear to God, because they would show reruns late night and the old dudes would sit around and watch the reruns and they would laugh. Howdy Doody, WWF, the 80s. Yep. Morton Downey. Wow. Because I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about, but he was a character and everybody watched him and he was just doing all this shit. He was going crazy and I was attracted to that.
Do you know what Morton Downey said about people like you? No. Criminals? He said you should take all the criminals, put them in a cage like a dog, and then kick the cage.
That's dope. Because that's his perspective and that's also entertaining as fuck. Because even if I'm a criminal, I might be like, damn. But if I take a step back, I'm like, that's fucking hilarious. And Richard Pryor was the last one. Because the reason these four people were was because I saw the way people react. And the thing about Richard Pryor, I was still a kid. I don't know what he's talking about, but I knew people wanted to be like him. When I hear certain, like he would say Jack, he would say like sometimes, you know what I'm saying, Jack? And then I would hear the older guys that are from not this country try to jive talk and be like, yeah, Jack. So those little observations that I made was like, wow, I want to make them laugh like how he makes them laugh. I want to make them as entertained as the wrestlers make them entertain, where they're watching it, even though it's fake. When someone lands a hit, they're making the sound effect like, boom, bang, while they're wrestling. And I'm like, man, that's and then they're so flashy and they have that entertainment value. And then you have the Morton Downey where he's like this nut job, but they're still so entertained by him. And then you have Howdy Doody. It was like, why are you guys watching this? But they're all so entertained by it.
I can't believe that. Howdy Doody in the Bronx. So I want to say last thing to you, which is that after Richard Pryor, I basically studied comedy for a long time. Not professionally. I was never going to be a comic, but I was just so fascinated by it and I learned so much from them. They were all my heroes. And I'm sure I was pretty much the only white boy from California getting a PhD in an Ivy League university who watched BET Comic View every single night.
That's hilarious.
Every single night. That's what I did. And I studied those comics. Yeah. I wasn't just, right? When you're serious, I, again, never, ever thought I would be a comic I just learned so much from them. But I also did study how they did their craft. And when I saw you, I could see that. I could see this is the real deal. This is that lineage. This is those guys. It's that brilliance. You have it in you. That's why I invited you to do this.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And it's like that thing of like somebody that does something the old school way. And you go, I do see that. You go, you're probably not going to get that far as like the average person watching it.
I was going to say, you have, your style is not actually the Comic View guys I was watching the 90s, but you do remind me much more of like the 1970s comics, actually. It's pretty clean for one thing, right. And it's observational and all that. But you have a subtle humor. That's the funniest stuff.
Right. Because I try to slip it in, like it's just the craft. It's a craft of anything, like the craft of what you do, it's a craft. Exactly. It's not just you want it to look a certain way. You want the finished product to be this way. We all have that vision. Anybody that goes forward to do something, there should be a vision of like, well, if I do it right, this is how it's going to look.
But when you do it does look crafted, but in a way that makes it look easy too, you know, because you're so inside of it and you're so good at it that it's watching you. One of the nice things about your comedy is that it's comfortable. Right. In a good way, right? It's not. There's no tension, and I think it's something. It's just something that you have. That a lot of comics don't have.
That's why I wrote a post.
You're instantly likable.
I wrote a post the other day, yesterday, matter of fact. I said, I know this is gonna sound prehistoric, but I got into comedy to stand up on stage and make people laugh. I don't want you to figure some fucking rocket science equation out. I don't want you, and not saying there's anything wrong with that, because there's everybody has their own style. Yeah. But my thing is, if I could just make you laugh, that means you thought about what I said and you liked it. Yep. Whether you agree with it or not, you thought about it. I was talking to this girl last night, and the crowd was a feminist, and I'm like, I'm a feminist, and like, you know, I'm joking around, but she's laughing at the things that I'm serious about, because like I'm always I want to learn. So whether it be a girl telling me, man, you just man-interrupted me, or you mansplained that to me.
She did.
And I'm like, but then I take a step back and I go, damn, I do that a lot. I didn't even realize I did that. Where it's like something that she already knows, she could tell me what it is, and I go back and be like, yeah, but you know, I would regurgitate what she just told me, but it was like I felt like I had to say it, where her opinion couldn't have been right just because of whatever reason.
I just have one favor to ask. Don't give in too much on that.
No, not at all.
Keep doing your thing. Yeah,
no, absolutely. I just meant like in personal life.
Yeah.
Where I'm kind of like, I'm aware of it. Where it's like, I'm going to listen a little more. I'm not saying I don't give a fuck about that. I'll be honest with you, because like I'm from where my mom, to me, set the standard of a strong woman. She never complained. She never, even though she might have felt whatever, she just did what she had to do. And that's how I try to live my life. So when people complain, like I got friends that do the same thing that I do, but they might not say, how did you get that? But they expect me to kind of be negative with them because maybe we might not have certain things. But I don't look at it. I'm not one to look at the hurdle and complain and talk and cry about the hurdle. I'm going to try to jump over the hurdle and not complain if I fall, and I'll be more excited to go back the next time. And I'm excited to have the opportunity to jump over the hurdle as opposed to getting caught up on the hurdle.
So you've been doing it for like 2 years now, comedy, right?
About 5, but like probably like 2.
And
like
more,
2, it's been like upwards.
Yeah, you've been doing more and more and more, right? Yeah, so it's an upward trajectory with you, right? And and I really do think if you just keep doing that, it'll grow. And I think you have a chance to be really big. So you know what, I would love to see that happen.
I have a message. Like I really have, like what you said, that thing of like the thing that you feel, like even the podcast that I'm coming out with, the whole thing behind it is to inspire people that might not necessarily, because everybody, you know, comedy, it's a lot of self-deprecation. There's a lot of like just you're down. There's a lot of like, I could sit around and talk about owing $580,000. Or I can make fun of it. When they say, oh, it's going to take you the rest of your life. When PO tells me it's going to take you the rest of your life to pay this shit, in my mind, I'm like, bitch, I made that in like a weekend once.
True.
Like, so it's not the fact that I don't do the crime no more, but I still got the ingredients it takes to do it.
More amazing things can happen, and more amazing things have happened in your life, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah. Hey man. Thanks for doing this, man. This has been great. And I want to say that again, like your story is absolutely astonishing, horrifying, thrilling, inspiring. It's all these things all wrapped into one. But also most importantly, like I do see you moving up, and it's really exciting. And I hope, and I think that I caught you, I got you to do this at a moment right before you become a big deal.
Or hopefully I get like close to being a big deal and then die. Cause then everybody's going to be like, yo, they're going to be like, yo, Petey, we got to find, and then they're going to find this podcast and be like, yo,
yeah, man,
yo, Thaddeus, yo, thanks for getting that coverage before he fucking died on the D train.
Don't die. Just do me one thing. Just invite me on your podcast when you're huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, my pleasure. My pleasure. Hell yeah.
Good, man. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
This is great.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Fuck, Pete. Ridiculous, man. This was the Unregistered podcast, and I'm Thaddeus Russell. If you like what you just heard and think it's worth supporting, please go to unregisteredunderground.com and become a subscriber. Thanks for listening.